my dear warriors, I hope you guys can see me as well as hear me. Do let me know in the chat box. Good morning, good morning. I'm so sorry I am late by 5 minutes, but here I am guys to discuss 100 MCQ type questions for your CBSE Physics class 12th board examination, just few days away. And I have handpicked amazing assertion reasoning type questions as well as the passages, the case study based questions. So all of you were eagerly waiting for it. So this is Shreyas here, your physics master teacher. Good morning Arjun, Sarina, Superman, Jawar, Kishore, Perfecto Purple, Nithila, Deepan, Shaku, Aswin, Abhay, Malayali. Welcome, welcome Shruti, welcome everyone. Hello Sarat. So if you want to know more about me, you can definitely go through the slide. You can also be my friend on Instagram on my handle captain_Shreyas. So before we begin, make sure you have marked your attendance by not just chatting in the chat box, but also smashing the like button. And there are 2 more amazing sessions. We are not done yet. Tomorrow, we're going to have most expected, or most repeated questions from previous year papers of boards. And day after tomorrow, your favorite sure shot questions. If you have missed the previous class, please watch it. Make sure you are subscribed on the channel so that you do not miss any updates and any of my classes. So are you ready to begin with the first question coming up on your screen? Assertion reasoning type. Here it is on your screen. There are 3 equal charges situated on a circle of radius r such that they form an equilateral triangle. The electric field intensity at the center is 0. The force on the unit positive charge at the center due to the 3 charges are represented by sides of a triangle in the same order. Therefore, field intensity at the center is 0. Assertion is given, reason is given. So you need to select whether both are correct and the reasoning is correct, or both are correct but the reason does not justify it, or assertion is correct, reason is wrong, or both are incorrect. These options will remain the same, only these things will change. Okay, these things will remain the same, only these assertion and reasoning statements are going to change. Many of you are saying A, some of you are saying C. Well, let's find it out. The correct answer is actually A. Reasoning is also correct, assertion is also correct. Let's try to understand what is exactly happening over here. 3 charges are situated on a circle of radius r such that they form an equilateral triangle. So if you make an equilateral triangle like this, this is positive, this is positive, this is positive, then the electric field intensity at the center. So if you go at the center, what happens guys? The force on unit positive charge at the center due to the 3 charges are represented by 3 sides of the triangle. Perfect. This charge will give field here, this charge will give field here, this charge will give field here. All these 3 fields will form a perfect triangle. You can make a triangle like this and you can see that the net field will be 0. So by the law of polygon of vector addition. So this is just a question on vector addition. This is a question on vector addition, and you can see all these fields are equal and symmetrically located, hence they will cancel. The reasoning is correct and the statements are also correct. Everybody with me? Can we go ahead? Everybody? So if you have not done all the derivations till now, then Abhay Singh, only concentrate on important derivations or only important chapters. Maybe you will get an option to skip the derivation, but it is better to at least do the easy ones or the high weightage ones or the most probable ones. At least do maybe 7 to 10 derivations. Okay, maybe if 1 derivation comes, you can do it. It will not take you more than 2 to 3 hours to understand them. Okay, let's see. Consider 2 identical charges placed at a distance of 2d along the x-axis. The equilibrium of a positive test charge at the point O, which is the midpoint, is stable for movement or displacements in the x-axis. The reasoning given is force on the charge is 0. Is that correct explanation? Is that correct statement? Or the original statement, the assertion, is it correct? Just figure that out. Then we'll start discussing. So my dear students, the test charge is placed over here. So what happens is this charge, positive Q, will give a field here, and this charge will also give a field here. So you will see that the net field, or I would say the net force acting on it, will be definitely 0. So definitely it is in equilibrium. Definitely it is in equilibrium. So you can see the force on the test charge is 0, that is correct. Now whether it is stable or not, that is something which you need to figure out. Imagine I move that charge somewhere over here. If I move the display, if I move it towards the right side, then what will happen is that from this Q you are going far away, towards this Q you are coming closer. So the force by this Q will be higher. So the force by this Q will be higher, whereas you are going far away, so the force by this Q charge will be less. So this will be higher and this will be lesser. So the net force will obviously be in this direction. Net force will be in this direction. You move it right, the force is towards the left. That means it is basically restoring it back. If it is restoring it back, that means it must be in stable equilibrium. So definitely it is stable, hence that is also correct. But is the reasoning telling you why it is in stable equilibrium? No. It is just telling it is equilibrium. Is it telling why is it in stable? No, right? So I don't think the reasoning is correct explanation. Hence the answer will be B. Very good. Many of you said B. That is the correct answer, guys. Proud of all of you. Proud of all of you. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. Here it is. Two adjacent conductors of unequal dimensions carry the same positive charge. Have a potential difference between them. Draw the diagram. It is always better. Whenever statements are there, it's always better to draw diagrams rather than just visualizing it. The potential of the conductor depends on the charge given to it. Interesting question. So let me just draw two conductors of random unequal sizes. Both of them have positive charges or some equal amount of charges. Let's say I show positive charge. So the same charge is given. If it is Q, this is also Q. Now you will see that there is some kind of a potential difference between them. There is some kind of a potential difference between them. If this is V1, this is V2, there is a difference. Now the question reasoning says that the potential of a conductor depends on the charge given to it. Let me take an example. The potential of a shell is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught charge divided by R. Correct? Similarly, if you take example of the potential of a ring, the potential due to a ring, all right, due to a ring, it is completely different. It is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and then you have Q, and then you have root of R square plus X square. What do you see from these formulas? I'm not asking you, you should know these formulas right now for this, but don't you see, for shell it is different, for ring it is different. So it depends on the shape, it depends on the size, and it depends on the charge. So it depends on the charge, wrong. It depends on the charge, shape, and size. So I think it is not explaining it completely. Although it does depend on the charge. Yes, potential depends on the charge. But to explain this, why that potential difference has come? Why has this potential difference come? Is it because the charges are different? No. Why has it come? Because they are of unequal dimensions. That means shapes and sizes are unequal. Understood, guys? Yes, NEET dropper can also watch it. Definitely. So hence the correct answer is B, not C. Reason is not wrong, guys. A lot of you might be thinking C. No, it is not C. Reason is correct. The potential does depend on the charge, but it also depends on other things to explain the given statement, assertion statement. So reasoning is not justifying it. Understand the difference. So very subtle differences are there. Okay, moving on to another question. Excellent. Yep, I know, happens. Some of you got confused. Yes, no problem. Srishti, it's not C. Okay, great. Hello, Panimyam Sulvai. Welcome, bacha log. Very good, Sarina. Awesome. These formulas are always confusing. That's why you are attending this class. And if you have missed my formula class, please watch it from yesterday's session. Next question. Let's see how many of you can do this. I'm waiting to see all your answers. A parallel plate capacitor connected across a battery through a key. The dielectric slab is introduced in between the plates, then the energy becomes K times. Surface charge on the plate remains the same. Yep. Will it be right even when it is not complete? Yes. Example, Sarina, I tell Sarina is a very brilliant student. But you have other qualities also. Sarina is also, I will say, very sporty. She also is very good with sports. She is also very good with music. I did not tell everything. But if I make a statement, Sarina is very, very brilliant student, that is a correct statement. Although I have missed other characteristics, I have not told the complete characteristics, but that statement alone is true. So hence, even if I do not mention other things, it is correct, but it will not justify the assertion. I hope that makes sense. Okay, a parallel plate capacitor. Come on guys, the correct answer for this is assertion is correct, reasoning is wrong. I'll tell you why. Observe now carefully. Many of you got this wrong, guys. Observe this. This is a battery and there is a switch like this. You connect it over here. This is the battery, this is the capacitance. Now, what happens when you add a slab? When you add a dielectric slab into it? See guys, this battery will always maintain the voltage difference. The voltage difference, because this is only one battery. So potential difference is constant because the battery is always connected. Now, if I use the formula U is equal to half C V square, you can see over here that this voltage has not changed, but the capacitance will increase K times. When you put dielectric slab, capacitance will increase K times. K is the dielectric constant. So naturally, energy will also increase K times. So hence, the assertion is definitely correct. But what about the reasoning? The surface charge density. Surface charge density is Q by A. Now Q is basically C into V and divided by A. Now don't you see, voltage did not change. Area is still the same. Whereas capacitance has increased K times. So naturally, sigma will also increase K times. If capacitance increases K times, obviously charge density will also increase K times. But here it says constant. So this is wrong, definitely. Yes, it will be available in the Telegram later on. Yes. So hence the correct answer is reasoning is incorrect. So I have chosen all kinds of questions, guys. You will see some places this will be correct, some places this will be correct, some places this will be correct, some places this will be correct. When you see me solving, when you see me explaining, and when you make mistakes, that's when you are going to learn, and you will definitely avoid losing marks. I will feel really bad if you lose marks in assertion reason, because these questions are straightforward but little confusing if you are not used to it, habituated to it. So just get used to it. That's it. You will get the knack of how to solve them. Okay. Let's go ahead to the next assertion reasoning. In a simple battery circuit, the point of the lowest potential is the positive terminal of the battery. The current flows towards the point of higher potential as it does such in a circuit from negative to the positive terminal. Crazy. Yes, case studies will come later on. How it is not constant, Mohit? I just told you, right? I just told you, right? Over here. Look at this. Charge density is charge by area. Charge is CV. C changes, capacitance changes because slab is put. So if capacitance changes, sigma will change. So obviously it is not a constant. You know? Makes sense. Okay. So what about this question, guys? Come on, think about it. What do you say? If you take any circuit with a battery, okay, there is some kind of a circuit over here and this is a battery. Do you really think that the positive terminal is the lowest terminal? I think if this is 0 volts, then this will be E volts. Then here maybe you might get some E volts. You might get some drop over here. And again you come back to 0 volts. That's how it works. So how is the positive terminal the lowest potential? Definitely assertion is wrong. Now I'll tell you one trick. The moment assertion is wrong, look at the options. Assertion is correct, assertion is correct, assertion is correct. Only one option says assertion is wrong. So don't even have to check the reasoning. Directly you can go and mark option D. Exactly, I can see a lot of D's over here. Awesomeness. Don't even have to check. How many of you use this trick in the exam? Only to double check, you can see whether reasoning is correct or wrong, but it doesn't make sense. How does the current flow from high potential as it does in a circuit from negative to the positive terminal? Guys, look at this, only inside the battery it goes from low to high, but outside it goes from high to low. So it is wrong to say that every time the current flows towards the higher potential. In fact, the current flows from high to low outside, whereas inside the battery it goes from low to high. So the direction of current changes whether it depends on whether it is mentioned inside or outside. Very good. Many of you use this trick. Perfecto. Many of you now got to know the trick. Great. Next question. Assertion reasoning question. The magnetic field by a solenoid is independent of its length and area. Interesting. The magnetic field inside the solenoid is uniform. Interesting question. So when you take a solenoid, then the magnetic field inside of it is given by the formula mu naught n into current, and this is how the field lines look like inside the solenoid. Outside they will diverge, you can say, they will bend, but inside you can see it is definitely uniform in nature. So what do you think is the correct answer? Magnetic field inside is uniform? Definitely. Does it depend on the length or the area? You can see there is no mentioning of area. Length, definitely not there. If you are wondering what this n is, this is number of turns per unit length. So per meter, how many turns are there? That's what matters, not the total length. Hence, assertion is correct, reasoning is correct, but it is not the correct reasoning. It's not explaining it. How is it explaining? It's saying this is uniform. It's saying it does not depend on length and area. Actually, the correct reasoning would have been the formula for magnetic field is mu naught Ni. So N is number of turns per unit length and I is the current. So the formula was given, then the reasoning would have been correct. Because then it would not have area, it would not have length, hence it would be independent. Understood, guys? Yep. Okay, what will happen to the electric field when the dielectric insertion is happening? So it depends again. If assuming the battery is still connected, Nandini, you can use the concept of, wait, let me just go back, where did it go? So if you had a question on electric field, then you will just use voltage by D. So if voltage is same and distance is same, then electric field will also remain the same. If the battery is connected. If the battery is not connected, then the voltage will change. So hence the field will also change. So it depends whether the battery is connected or disconnected. Okay. So be careful. Alright. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. A charge, whether stationary or in motion, produces magnetic field around it. Moving charges produce only electric field in the surrounding space. What do you think? Is this correct, wrong, A, B, C, D? Yep. So come on. Yes, Jawar, mu naught Ni by 2 is the field at the end points of the solenoid, definitely. Yes. Okay, many of you are confused between D, some of you were saying C and B. Interestingo. Sir, though length decreasing, then the turns per unit length increases. M. Gautam, even if the length increases and I keep the number of turns per unit length same, then it doesn't matter. So that way, if you look at it, it is independent of length. So even if I have a long solenoid and a short solenoid, it doesn't matter. What matters is the turns which are there per unit length. So that is more important. Okay, so the correct answer for this is both are wrong. Charge, whether stationary or motion, produces magnetic field. That is wrong, guys. A stationary charge only produces electric field around it. But the moment you have a wire, okay, you have a wire in which current is there. So maybe some charges are moving. So it will produce magnetic field also, and each of these charges will also create electric field around it. So there is electric field because of the charges, and it also produces magnetic field like a current carrying wire. Moving charges produce only electric field in the surrounding space. This is definitely wrong. And stationary word should not have been there. Hence option D is correct. Exactly. I hope you guys are keeping a track of your score. If you're not, it's okay. You might get tensed looking at the scores. But if you're learning a lot, then trust me, you should definitely hit the subscribe button on the channel. And yes, you should smash the like button because you are learning a lot. And imagine these mistakes will be avoided in your CBSE exam. Moving on to the next question. We can think of a bar magnet configuration with 3 poles. A bar magnet does exert a torque on itself due to its own field. What do you think? Interesting question. 100, Arjun, like I said, you are going to see almost 100 questions. Yep. Okay. Many of you saying D already. Some of you saying C. Interestingo. We can think of a bar magnet with 3 poles. Is it possible? North pole, south pole, and imagine I have extended it and here I get north pole. Is it possible like that? A bar magnet with 3 poles? No. Magnetic monopoles do not exist. 3 poles is definitely not possible. Not possible because only dipoles are possible. You can have south north, south south, south north, north south, north south only. So definitely wrong. Bar magnet does exert a torque on itself due to its own field. What nonsense. How can a magnet apply a force on itself that violates Newton's laws? Imagine a magnet like this, north and south, creates its own field, and that field only rotates that magnet without anything. That would be stupidity, right? So definitely the correct answer for this will be wrong. Both are wrong. Definitely. Yes. So remember, when you see this formula where you have a bar magnet north-south pole and there is an external field, there is a magnetic moment, there is theta. When I say torque is M cross B, remember this B is external field, somebody else's field, not that guy's field. Understand that. That guy's field will affect other guys, not itself. Hence both are wrong. Moving on to another question. Diamagnetic materials can show magnetism. Diamagnetic materials have permanent magnetic moment. What do you think about this? Come on, my dear students. What do you think is the correct answer? Thank you, TGV Ashin. But in chemistry exam, the 4th option is correct. That should not be true, bacha. Whether it's physics, chemistry, math, science, it should be the same thing. It cannot change because the subject change. Okay. So this is the correct answer, whatever I am showing you. Yes, the correct answer for this, diamagnetic materials definitely can show magnetism. In fact, if you take a diamagnetic material and place it in some external field, you will see it will get polarized oppositely. It will get polarized oppositely. It will show magnetic moment like this. This will become north, this will become south. It will basically start to repel the field. Definitely. But is it used in permanent magnets? No. This is a temporary phenomena. It is a temporary phenomena. It is not a permanent phenomena. Hence the correct answer is assertion is correct, reasoning is wrong. See, the moment reasoning is wrong, I don't know how many of you use this trick. The moment reasoning is wrong, things become also easier because you don't have to check option A and B. Reason is wrong. So obviously it says reason is correct, reason is correct. Reason is not explanation, reason is the explanation. Don't even have to check these options. Then you just need to see whether assertion is wrong. If assertion is also wrong, then you will mark D. If only reasoning is wrong, then you will mark C. So you don't have to check. You don't have to check A and B. Does it make sense? Moving on to another question coming up on your screen. Yes, the frog levitates only because of diamagnetism. Yes, the diamagnetism phenomena is used to propel objects on the top or to levitate objects, and you get a sense of magic, but actually there is science in it. Okay? But in Oswald book and all, option 4 is false and reasoning is true. It depends. See guys, read the question. Assertion, reason, na? It's not necessary every time D option will be both options are wrong. Both statements are wrong. If they change, it is valid. They can change. They can say that assertion is correct, assertion is wrong, reasoning is correct. So read the statements, read the options. Okay, don't take it for granted. The ordering will be same. If they change the order also, you should be open to it. Don't say, sir, I thought it will be like that. I didn't read the question. Then that will be madness. Okay, cool. Only a change in the flux will create a create a induced EMF. Yes. Remember, Faraday's law is E is minus delta phi by delta T. So only when the magnetic flux changes, induced current and induced EMF will be created. I will be E by R. So definitely it is correct. Presence of flux maintains a current in the coil. That is wrong. Just because it is present does not mean there will be current. No. Only when it changes, like the first statement says, only then there is a current. Otherwise, there is no current, there is no EMF. Even if the flux is large, even if the flux is small, even if the area is large, even if the area is tilted, doesn't matter. There should be changing flux. Hence, reasoning is definitely wrong. So this presence is not going to do anything. Thank you, Superman. Yes, exactly, Srishti. Very good. Is ferromagnetic permanent? Exactly. Definitely, ferromagnetic is permanent. Even paramagnetic is not permanent. But paramagnetic will attract the field, but not as much as ferromagnetic. But it is also temporary phenomena in paramagnetic. Only ferromagnetic materials like nickel, cobalt, they are permanent magnets. Okay. Flux is basically flow of anything. Bacha, watch my yesterday's class. Maybe you'll get some idea. Next question coming up on your screen. Figure shows a metallic conductor. Wow, look at this conductor moving in a magnetic field. The induced EMF across its end is zero. Across its end is zero. I don't know whether it's correct or wrong. The induced EMF across the ends is given by BLV sine theta. Wow, I think the formula is given. Yes, weakly attracted will be true, Juhi, for paramagnetic. Okay, very good. Will you upload video for MCQ also? MCQs I'll be doing tomorrow and also day after tomorrow, okay? So it will be a part of previous year papers as well as short questions. Okay, many of you are saying option A. Interesting, interesting, interesting. This formula is definitely correct. Remember, if the length is like this, velocity is like this is theta, and there is magnetic field inside, then the EMF is BLV sine theta. EMF is BLV sine theta. But if you notice over here, I don't know whether you saw that, theta is 0. That means sine theta is 0. That means EMF is also 0. So this says that the induced EMF is 0. Perfect. Induced EMF is given by this formula. Perfect. Is that explaining it? Yes. Because of this formula only we were able to figure out that it is 0. Hence the reasoning is also correct. Understood, guys? Simple, easy peasy. Awesomeness, awesomeness. Everybody got A. I hope everybody got A++ score. Everybody should get A++ score. I know you don't get grades now, but still you get the idea. Rohit, Ronaldo fans assemble. Sorry, here only captains fans have assembled. Yes or no, bacha log? Have captains fans assembled? Yes or no? Shreyas sir, Captain Shreyas sirs, Captos fans. Yes, no. Why induced EMF at end is 0? Because Viram, because of the formula, bacha. Only the perpendicular length is going to create a potential difference. Along the velocity, there is no force. Remember, force is QV cross B. So if velocity is parallel to B, then there is no force, there is no separation of charges, there is no induced charges, hence there is no EMF. That's the logic behind it. Great. Awesome. So what are you going to do? Fans assemble, share the video, get in a lot of friends, and we know that you guys together and all of us together over here, we are going to nail the examination, just like we did it for the JEE mains first attempt and any other examination. This is your time, guys, and you're going to put in your 100%. I know this. Okay, it's time to rock. After that, I'm going to meet you for JEE mains second attempt preparation. We are going to nail it. Don't worry. Even if you got very less percentile, don't worry. Shreyas sir is here. Okay, moving on. Electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. Electric and magnetic fields in electromagnetic waves are perpendicular to each other and the direction of the propagation. What do you think? Coming back to electromagnetic waves now, slowly. Yes, we'll be doing it tomorrow a little bit, Regs night, and there will be some numericals also today in the case study based questions, definitely. Yes, we'll be doing it. Cross product between, yes, two vectors, you can check my 11th standard lectures. The correct answer for this is A, very good. No, some of you said B, that's wrong. Electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. If you see the electric field, it looks like this. If you see the magnetic field, it will look probably like this maybe. Okay, just showing it like that. So that will be the magnetic field, and you will see that the wave will propagate like this. This is the velocity of the wave. Each one of them is perpendicular to each other. Electric field, magnetic field, and the direction. And that is why it is transverse. Transverse means the oscillations should be perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Hence, it is explaining it. That is perfectly right. Okay, it's not the same, not explaining. That's wrong. A lot of you thought, sir, how is this explaining the transverse? Because it is perpendicular. That explains why it is transverse. It is definitely explaining it. Understand that. Moving on. Infrared plays an important role in maintaining the average temperature of the earth. Infrared radiations are sometimes referred to as heat waves. Is that true or false? Come on, think. Is it explaining or not? Interesting. Abhay, very good. Yes, mutually perpendicular. 40 plus, bacha, I have given you full marks scoring strategy. Watch my lecture. It's there as a channel trailer also. Just watch. 2 days back, I uploaded a lecture in the afternoon, evening. Okay, how to score full in physics CBSE board. Search it. It's there on the channel. Very nice, guys. Many of you are correct about it. Option, oh, sorry. It is A you have written. Wrong, bacha log. The answer is B. Only few people wrote. Juhi wrote B. And Abhay wrote B. Yes, very few people wrote it. Infrared plays an important role in maintaining the average temperature of the earth. Yes, that is called as the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect, is responsible for maintaining the temperature of the earth. All the harmful radiations get absorbed by the earth's atmosphere and infrared is released that maintains the temperature of the earth and the temperature of the atmosphere also. Infrared is also referred to as heat waves. Infrared is also referred to as heat waves. Definitely this is correct because your body also emits infrared radiation that can cause heating of objects. That is why it is also called as heat waves. That is perfect. But is this explaining that? No. Think about it. Why? Infrared plays a role in maintaining the temperature. How is it maintaining? Because of greenhouse effect. It absorbs the radiation, releases infrared, and that's how it heats up the object and it maintains the temperature. Are those statements there? No. How can it be the reason? This is independently it is correct. It feels like it is correct, but it is not explaining it. How is the role being played? Not explained. Hence it is B. Is that clear, everyone? Awesome. Many of you said A. Yes. Okay, I hope this is clear. Awesome. Moving on to the next one. The focal length. UV rays are absorbed, Diyananda. Ultraviolet rays are basically absorbed. It is harmful. It is absorbed by the atmosphere. Infrared is released everywhere in the atmosphere. It maintains the heat as heat waves. Remember that. Oh, Vanakam Veeram. And I hope all the students are going to do the paper at a Veera level only. I know this. Awesomeness, guys. Moving on. Next question. The focal length of convex mirror will increase if the mirror is placed in water. The focal length of a convex mirror of radius R is equal to F by 2. Interesting. Guys, whether you take a mirror in air or whether you take mirror in some liquid, how does that affect reflection? Refractive index has no role to play only in mirrors or reflection. The rays will still meet at the same point, whether it is here or whether it is here. Doesn't matter. Independent. In fact, the focal length is R by 2. Here R is F by 2. That is wrong. This is correct. That is wrong. So option C. It says this is increases. My bad. Sorry, I thought this was independent. My bad. It will not change. It will remain the same. So this is wrong. This is also wrong. And hence both of them are wrong. I hope this is clear. Yes. Only lenses. Perfect. Only refractive elements get affected by the refractive index. And that is the medium. Otherwise, it won't get affected. Moving on to another question coming up on your screen. The image formed by a concave mirror is definitely real if the object is virtual. Wow. The image by a concave mirror is definitely virtual if the object is real. Interesting. Let's see. Sir, if it was lens, then what will happen? Then the assertion would be true, right? Because the things will change, definitely. Now, over here, my logic is like this. The image by a concave mirror is definitely virtual if the object is real. So if you take a real object, this is real object, and you take it in front of a concave mirror. If you take it in front of a concave mirror, you can definitely get a real image. So this statement says it is always virtual. definitely wrong. Do you see reasoning is definitely wrong? Everybody with me? So either it will be C or D. Now you need to just check whether option A is correct or wrong. How can you get real image from a virtual object? Okay, I have an idea. I will use the formula 1 by V plus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. 1 by V plus object is virtual. If the object is virtual, that means U is going to be positive. It's on that side. So this will be a positive number. Focal length of a concave mirror is always negative number. So this will be 1 by V is equal to 1 by negative. When it goes over there, it will become 1 by positive. So this is negative, negative. So obviously the answer will be negative. So V will be negative. If image distance is negative, that means what? The image will be real in nature. So the image will be definitely real. Yes. If the object is virtual, that is U is positive. Yes. So A is assertion is correct. Reasoning is wrong. Option C, of course. C for capital. Exactly. What a brilliant question, right? Yeah, the reason is not right. Yes, it could be virtual or it could be real. See, you can also get virtual image. Remember, that is what dentists use, right? They place the object very, very close. You place the object very close and then you can get basically a real, you get a virtual image behind. You get a virtual image behind. Definitely possible. Even this is possible, even this is possible. So it's not necessarily be a real image, it could be virtual also. Perfect. Moving on to another question coming up on your screen. The optical instruments which are used to increase the size of the image of the object. Okay. Optical instruments bring the image closer than the object. Wow. Interesting. So the image will always be real for both real and virtual. Shaku, I think your statement is self-contradicting. How can the image be? You're talking image 2 times. Just check once. Maybe you can put that out later on in the comments. Let me just proceed with the discussion. Optical instruments are used to increase the size. Well, guys, I think there is a catch here. Imagine I take an object, okay, and I take 2 cases. This is also an object. Now, let's say the image is formed over here. The image is formed over here. In this case, the image is formed, let's say, over here. This is the image formed. Now, if I talk about the eye, so let us just look at it this way. Let's say this is your eye over here, and like this. This is the angle subtended, that's all. Okay. Now, look over here carefully, guys. Here the image is taller, larger. Here the image is smaller, but it is closer. In either case, what has increased is very important, guys. The angle subtended by the image, is higher. So you will see the image more clearly, and that is the job of an optical instrument. A lot of people do not remember or forget, or maybe are not taught, that optical instruments never are used to increase the size of the image. No. Here you can see the size of the image can be even smaller. But what is it used? To increase the visual angle. So to increase the size of the image is definitely wrong. To increase the visual angle, then it will be correct. Similarly, if assertion is wrong, you don't even have to check anything else. Both will be wrong. The optical instruments brings the image closer, not necessarily. The image can come closer or it can go far away. In either case, the size, angular size should increase. So it brings the image closer. That is definitely wrong. Understood, guys? Yeah. So yes, if you take a magnifying glass, it could be possible that the object looks far away, but it looks big. That is the point, na bacha. What matters is the angle subtended at your eye, not the size of the image. Understand that. So this is one very good question. Next question. If you take films Like you might have seen outside the petrol pump, you get nice colors when there is a oil spill happening, or maybe some oil has been spilled over on the floor. You might have seen some soap bubbles giving you beautiful rainbow-like colors. That is because of interference of light. So the question says that does it happen due to the interference of light reflected from upper and lower faces, and it shows beautiful colors well illuminated. This is just based on phenomena which you see outside. I think you should be able to guess it easily. The answer is true. If you have a film, if you have a thin film, then what happens is the light which falls onto it, it gets reflected, some of it gets transmitted and again gets reflected like this. Now this ray 1 and this ray 2 together interfere, and they produce beautiful patterns. It all depends on the refractive index and also the thickness and the wavelength used. So what kind of pattern is produced? But yes, this is the basic structural or ray diagram by which you can understand how interference is happening. The same ray gets reflected, some of the other part of that same ray will get transmitted and again get reflected. These two rays will interfere in your eye, and that's how you get the thin film interference. So it is the correct explanation, definitely. Moving on to the next one. If there is green light falling on a double slit with one slit reduced in size, okay, one of the slit is reduced in size, then the fringes become dimmer. The fringe pattern shifts on the screen. Okay, very interesting. So Shruti, basically this is not diffraction, gamers. This is thin film interference. This is upper film. You can think of this like the liquid. This is basically the liquid. If you have a soap bubble, this is the thickness of that bubble, or if there is an oil layer, that is the layer of that oil. So if light is falling, it gets reflected and reflected from both upper and the lower faces. So those reflected rays, you need always two rays, right, to interfere. So these two rays meet and interfere. So that is what it says. It happens due to interference of two rays from upper and lower surface of the film. That's what it says. Hence it is correct. Okay, I hope that is making sense. Okay, so let's see. Not necessarily, Karthik, if angle increases, image will be bigger in size, but yes, the image will appear to be bigger. Hence, yes, it will appear to be bigger. All right. Okay, option correct who will be? Yes, C. Many of you are saying C. Some of you said even B. That is wrong. Yes, Juhi. Yes, Saundarya. Very good, bacha log. Awesome, Aditya. The correct answer is C. Why is it C? Think about it. If you have Young's double slit experiment like this is slit 1, this is slit 2. If the widths are equal, then you will get perfect constructive, perfect destructive. But if you make one of the sizes smaller, if this is intensity I, original intensity was I, but now the intensity will be less than I. You can see that the intensity of this slit will reduce. This will be I1, which is less than I. So because of which, what will happen? Wherever constructive interference was happening, earlier it was I plus I, now it will be I plus I1. This is basically smaller. Hence, you will see the constructive interference will be dimmer in nature. Hence, the assertion is definitely correct. The fringe pattern does not shift, guys. Just because you make this thin does not mean the pattern will shift up or down, back or front. No, it is definitely not correct. The fringe pattern stays there intact. Only the brightness of the pattern will change. That's all. Hence, the correct answer is C. Assertion is definitely true. Next question. Oh, this is a beautiful phenomenon. The tires of an aircraft are slightly conducting. You might have definitely seen an aeroplane and it has lots and lots of wheels. These wheels are made conducting in nature. Is that true? If a conductor is connected to the ground, the extra charge induced on the conductor will flow to the ground. That's the reason. The dark fringes, Sudha, that will become slightly brighter because there will be no perfect destructive interference. Earlier, both the amplitudes were same. Now, one is bright, one is dim. So, you will see an imperfect destructive interference. So, it will not be completely dark. It will be grayish, or basically little bit of fading will be there. Okay, I hope so that answers your question. Yes, perfect. That is the correct answer. So if this is our aeroplane, the wheels will ensure? What will they ensure? The aeroplane will get charged because it is flying through clouds, so much of friction in the air, atmosphere. So whatever charges are there, those charges will go into the earth. Or else, by chance, when you are climbing the aeroplane, imagine it was not conducting, by chance, you happen to touch the door, you will be like this. Hai na? You don't want that. By chance, somebody is just leaning onto the window like this. Hai na? Suddenly you will get a shock. Nice it will be. Very nice scene it will be. Okay? So you don't want that. Moving on to the next question. Coming up on your screen. Though light of a single frequency is incident on a metal, the energies which are coming out of the electrons are different. Fringe width will remain the same, Maximus. That's why the pattern remains intact. Like I told Maximus, fringe width only changes if you change the medium. Wavelength will change, or distance will change, or slits are separated away or brought closer. Only then the fringe width will change. Otherwise, it won't change. So, what do you think? The energy of the electrons from the metal surface is lost in collision with the other atoms in the metals. I think it is the correct answer. Perfect. What happens is, if there is light falling onto it, if there is light, basically photons falling onto it, then before the electrons get ejected, before these electrons get ejected out, understand these electrons have to travel few distances, they have to collide, and then they will come out. Now, here there is some amount of loss, and this loss is different for every electron, is different for all electrons. Because of that, what will happen? The kinetic energy which it gets finally, will also be different. Understand that. But there will be few lucky electrons which have negligible loss. They will come out with maximum energy. So the electric equation, photoelectric equation, always is written down for the luckiest electron which has minimal losses. Alright, great. Yep, I hope this is understood. Saku, yeah, until the plane lands, the charges will still be in the air, but you are not going to touch the plane from outside, no? So that's why the inside part is insulated in a plane. It's not conducting. The outside and the inside part are insulated. It's not like when the plane is flying, you suddenly go outside and touch the plane. Hey, how are you, man? You don't pat it like a dog, no? When it is flying, how is the plane karke? You don't do all those things. So don't worry, you will not have to go outside the plane. Don't worry, okay? Moving on to the next question. Two photons of equal wavelength must have equal linear momentum. Reason, 2 pi lambda is equal to h by p. Numericals, there will be good number of numericals, Joker. Okay. But it will not be so much that it will be full of numericals, okay? Less than 50%. I would say, but not negligible. Two photons of equal wavelength have equal linear momentum. Is that true? Imagine one photon going like this, certain wavelength. The momentum will be h by lambda. Another photon going like this, having the same wavelength. The momentum will be h by lambda. You will be like, yes sir, momentum is same because wavelength is same, h is constant. Wrong. That is itself wrong. Assertion is only wrong. Why assertion is wrong? A lot of you got this wrong, guys. Why is assertion wrong? How many of you can tell me this? Linear momentum is a vector quantity. It has direction as well as magnitude. Who said that they are traveling in the same direction? They could be traveling in different directions. Yes, their magnitudes are equal. Does the statement say they have equal magnitude of momentum? No. Equal momentum. Two vectors are equal only if their directions and magnitudes are equal. So the directions is really questionable. Hence you cannot say that. Hence you don't even have to check anything. So correctly you have to mark option D. Option D. Yes. Option D. Yes. Understood? What a brilliant thing. And not just that, guys. Even this is wrong. What is this 2 pi? Why is this 2 pi there? Lambda was h by p. What is the 2 pi doing there? So reason is anyways incorrect. The reason is anyways incorrect. Got it? Great, great. Yeah, we are going to do numericals in the case study based questions. You are going to see a lot of numericals. Next question, guys. We have reached to modern physics. Have you realized that slowly how beautifully I transitioned into modern physics, guys? I started from electrostatics, current, electricity, magnetism, EM waves, EMI, and then slowly we are into modern physics. Light also done, ray optics done. So nearing the end of assertion reason. After that, only case studies. The kinetic energy does not depend on the intensity of the photon. Definitely, it does not depend. The ejection of the electrons from the metallic surface is not possible if the frequency is below the threshold frequency. Yes, F should be more than the threshold frequency. So it is correct. But is this explaining? I doubt. This is something else only. It is talking about threshold frequency. This is talking about intensity and kinetic energy. So they are independently correct, but they are not explaining each other. So definitely it is not a correct explanation. Yes, very good. Excellent. Kinetic energy actually depends on the frequency of the photon and also the work function of the element. Definitely. Moving on to the next question. Bohr had to postulate that the electrons in stationary orbits around the nucleus do not radiate. So he said that if there is a nucleus and if there is a electron which is revolving, then it does not radiate in stationary orbits. Is that true? Okay, I think it is, because that was one of the postulates. Those are exactly called as stationary orbits. If you remember, those are exactly called as the stationary orbits. What about the next statement, guys? What about the next statement? Come on, think about it. What about the next statement? According to the classical physics, all accelerated electrons radiate. Definitely. If you take any charge, and basically accelerate it, it will emit radiation. It will emit radiation. So definitely that is correct. So is that explaining it? No. This postulate is independent. He just overcame this particular reasoning by saying that there are some stationary orbits only in which the electrons can lie. If it lies anywhere in or out of that, then that's it. It will fall into the nucleus. But this is not explaining it. In fact, he overcame this hurdle. This was the problem in whose model? Rutherford's model. He overcame this problem by assuming this postulate. So it is not explaining that. Why did he assume that postulate? That is not being explained here. Understand that. So hence it is wrong reasoning of the statement, but independently those statements are correct. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen, guys. Yep. Yes, exactly, Jawahar. That's explaining the Rutherford's failure. Yep. In Lyman series, the ratio of minimum and maximum wavelength is 3/4. Lyman series spectral lines transition from high energy to the ground state. Yes, I think reasoning is correct. So reasoning is correct. So now I need to be careful. C and D options are out of the question. So I need to check whether it is correct reason or not. And if assertion, it definitely will be correct. I mean, if reasoning is correct. So if reasoning is correct, you will have to make sure that assertion is correct, guys. Just whether it is reasoning it or not, I need to check that. So we all know that when the transition happens from 2 to 1, that will give you the largest wavelength, that will give you the lambda max. And similarly, when the transition happens from infinity to 1, then you will get basically lambda min. Then use 1 by lambda max is equal to R, and then you have 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 2 square and 1 by lambda min. This is Rydberg's formula, guys. R into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by infinity square. So now just divide both of them. Yes, just divide both of them and see what happens. So you will get 1 by lambda max by 1 by lambda min will be equal to this RR will cancel. So this will become 1 minus 1 by 4 and this will become 1 minus 1 by infinity is 0. So this will just become 3 by 4. So minimum by maximum will be 3 by 4. Definitely. Hence the minimum by maximum. So this is actually lambda minimum by lambda maximum. That will be basically 3 by 4. That is the correct answer. Definitely. But is it explaining this? That is a questionable thing. No, it is not explaining. Why minimum and maximum is 3 by 4? How is that being explained? It's just telling you what is Lyman series. See, understand what is this doing. It is explaining what is Lyman. What is Lyman series? Yes, it explains. But does it explain why it is 3 by 4? Nothing. So hence it is B. Very good. Moving on to the next question. The mass number of a nucleus is always less than the atomic number. Interesting. The mass number of a nucleus may be equal to its neutron number. Yes, you can use Bohr's third law also to solve, but don't have to complicate things, bacha. Yeah. Okay. Mass number always less than the atomic number. I doubt it, gacha log. So atomic mass number is Z plus N, na? Z plus N. So think about it. How can atomic mass number be less than the atomic number? Atomic mass number will always be more than or equal to the atomic number. So this definitely is wrong. If assertion is wrong, you don't even have to think option D will be correct. Very good. I can see many of you spamming D. Very nice. Perfecto. Mass number of the nucleus may be equal to neutron number. How can the A will never be equal to N, guys? A will never be equal to N. Tell me which element has atomic mass number equal to neutrons. No protons only. There are no protons. What kind of nucleus is that? What kind of atom is that? Hai na? Imagine the parent of the atom will be like, what kind of an engineer will you be? You don't even have one proton. They will get a lot of scoldings. Imagine if atom was a student, na? Such an atom with only neutron, no proton. If there is no proton, no electron. The parent will be like, you don't even have protons in you. How will you get a girl? How will you get an electron? That's what the scolding will be. Hai na? That's what will happen. So, what kind of atom will it be, bacha log? Nothing. Both are wrong. Moving on to the next one. The binding energy per nucleon for nuclei with atomic mass number A more than 100 decreases with A. I think that is correct. If you take binding energy per nucleon, okay, versus atomic mass number, the graph goes like this and falls down. So after 100. The forces are weak for heavier nuclei. Yes. Oh, no. That is wrong. This is correct. Yes. So this is wrong, guys. Forces are weak for heavier nuclei. Nuclear force does not become weak. The problem is something else only. The problem is that when there are so many nuclei, it becomes difficult to handle. The repulsion increases. The repulsion of the protons increases. And that can overpower the nuclear force. Also, because the lot of neutrons are going to be there, the pairing might get affected. So because of that, the number of forces might also reduce. So the pairing mismatch might happen. That reduces the bonding between the nuclear particles. So those are the reasons. But nuclear force becomes weak? No. It's still going to be there, but it will not be able to pull everything around it. That is the problem. Hence it is incorrect. If the temperature of a semiconductor is increased, resistance decreases. The energy gap in the valence and conduction band is small, making the electrons jump easily into the conduction band. Is that true? Is that true? Let's see how many of you can do this. So when you have valence band and conduction band, in case of semiconductors, the band gap is less than 3 electron volt. So if I have an electron, it can jump easily. How can the electron jump? Because of thermal energy. Thermal energy. So if you increase the temperature, electrons jump into the conduction band. If they jump into the conduction band, what will happen? Resistance will decrease. So is the assertion correct? Yes. Is the reason correct? Yes. Is it explaining it? Yes. Hence correct answer is A. It is explaining. No, it is not B, guys. Some of you also said B. No. Look at it. It is explaining. Electron jumps easily to the conduction band, and conduction band only name suggests conduction will increase. Hence the resistance will decrease. Definitely it is explaining it. Exactly. Moving on to the next one. The diffusion current in a PN junction is from P to the N side. The diffusion current is more than the drift current when it is forward bias. I think it is not the correct reason as far as I can see it. So when you have just a PN junction, what happens is the electrons diffuse from N side to the P side immediately. So because of that, the diffusion current is here. The diffusion current is from the P side to the N side. So definitely the statement assertion is correct. But when you have a forward bias, you connect this to positive, you connect this to negative, then what happens is the diffusion current the diffusion current is much larger than the drift current, much larger than the drift current, because of which the total current, is in this direction. So yes, the diffusion current is more than the drift current. That is correct statement, but it is not explaining why diffusion goes from P to N. Why is it going from P to N? Is it explaining? But yes, this statement independently is correct. So hence the correct answer will be B. I hope you get an understanding of this and you have understood this. Okay. Break vidunga sir. Vidunga. Yes, Harshini. Break vidunga. Yes. For reverse bias, drift current is more than the diffusion current. Obviously. When there is no bias, there is no obviously current at all. Guys, you guys ask for something and see it happens. Okay, so we'll have a short break. We'll return in 10 minutes and we will do only case studies. I'll show you a paragraph, you're going to take a photo, and I don't think you will need so much reading also, because the passages are very interesting. You will see that even your extra knowledge or whatever you have studied from boards or NCERT will be useful, not just the passage data points. So let's see how much useful the passages will be in solving the problems. Amazing passages coming up after this. So stay tuned. We'll meet in 10 minutes. Okay. So let's start the timer. Welcome back, guys. Ready to start case studies? Did you have fun solving assertion and reason? Just let me know that. Was it amazing? And what did you have in your break? Quickly had your snacks, had your juice, or just were on Instagram, or just doing some time pass, chatting. Joby, something, hot water, chatting, very good, okay. You're relaxed, it's okay. It's okay, you can chat, guys, don't worry. Had apples, no problem. Small sleep, oh my god, Logesh, you're the luckiest, blessed person, man. How many of you can sleep so quickly, man? I can't sleep so quickly, so easily. I will start thinking about so many things. I will start dreaming, daydreaming, night dreaming, everything. And then I will aram se sleep after a half an hour or 1 hour. Okay. So, very blessed people. Yeah. We're lucky. Okay, awesome. Chalo, let's begin then. Let's dream about whom, Jawar? You meet me, then I will explain it to you properly. Like this in public, it is very difficult, man. Okay? I'll meet you. After the board examinations, after the JEE exam, we'll party, no, together. Then we'll talk about, I'll ask you your dreams also. Then we'll have fun. Okay, chalo. Let's begin. Yes, and there we go. Okay, here is our first passage. What do we have? When electric dipole is placed in an electric field, two charges experience equal and opposite forces which cancel each other. Hence, the net force on the dipole in uniform field is 0. However, these forces are not collinear. So they give rise to some kind of a torque on the dipole. Since the net force on the electric dipole in a uniform electric field, the net force is 0. So no work is done in moving the charge in the field, but work is done in rotating the dipole against the torque acting on it. That's what the paragraph is. Probably I can start solving some questions. If you take a screenshot, that would be better. I don't want to always come back to this. Everybody done taking a screenshot? Then we will go to the first question. I want you to solve these questions very quickly, okay? Because I think the passage is going to be very simple. Most of the times the passages are simple, and if you have given the chemistry paper, you know that things are not very difficult. They are not giving very difficult papers. Number two, even if you see previous year passages, they are okay only. I mean, it's not like crazily rocket science. Okay, the first question. The dipole moment of a dipole in an electric field is E. Then the torque acting on it is P cross E, P dot E bar, 2P plus E, P plus E. Interesting. Come on, fatafat. See, very good newbie legend. You are the legend, man. Even a noob can do this question even without reading the passage. Yes or no, bacha? Yeah, see, everybody did this. Perfect. P cross E. That is the formula. It is PE sine theta. Moving on to the next one. The dipole consists of charges and distance in a field. What is the maximum torque on the dipole? So the max torque on the dipole is PE when the angle is 90 degrees. P, dipole moment, is basically the charge multiplied by the separation, and E is basically the field. Sine 90 is 1. What is the charge? Charge is 1 microcoulomb, so 10 to the power minus 6. Separation, 2 centimeters, so 2 into 10 to the power minus 2. Field is 10 to the power 5. Just check this out, guys. It will be 2 into, this will become minus 8 plus 5, that is minus 3. So 10 to the power minus 3. Where is it? Option C. C for captain. Very good. Excellent. So very straightforward question. Maximum torque is at 90 degrees because sine's maximum value is going to be 1. That's the idea over here. Moving on to the next question. So you can see some numerical based questions can also come in the passages. The torque on the dipole in a uniform field is minimum when theta is equal to 0, 90, 180, both A and C. Interestingo. Memorables, unforgettable. What do you think? You asked that and it has come. The correct answer, is it D? Sure. Pakka. Done. Locked. Yes, it is D. Because the torque is PE sine theta. So I can write P sine 0 or even sine 180. Sine 0 is 0. Sine 180 is also 0. So both A and C are correct. Whether it is parallel or whether it is anti-parallel, the answer for the torque will be 0. I'm not talking about energy, I'm talking about torque. So understand, 0 is 0. That's it, A and C. Next question. When an electric dipole is held at an angle in a field, then the net force and the torque on the dipole are, Sarath, basically sine of 180 is 0, na? Because what will happen, even when it is opposite, think bacha like this, even when I place the dipole like this, then what will happen? One force will be here, one force will be here. So they will still cancel, the forces will still cancel and they are along the same line. So there is no torque. The torque will still be 0, whether they are this way or that way. Like this or like this, doesn't matter. Okay? So that is the energy that we are talking about. Energy will be minimum at 180. Energy is maximum at 0. Energy is minimum at 0. Energy is maximum at 180. So maximum energy is there at opposite direction. In the direction 0 degrees, it is the least. It is in fact stable equilibrium. I have given this, explained this during the discussions. The correct answer for this is option C, of course. Yes, the dipole is held at an angle. Even if it is held at an angle, the forces will cancel. The net force will be 0, but the net torque will not be 0. There will be some kind of torque on it. Hence option C is correct. Very good. No, this is not correct, guys. Force is not 0. Wrong. Force will be 0. They will cancel out each other. Okay, it is also mentioned uniform electric field. You have to pay attention to the words. Next one. The dipole is placed in the field. Read this paragraph. I don't think it is even necessary, but just see what is being asked. You will immediately get it. What is the torque and what is the potential energy? What is the torque and what is the potential energy? That is the question. Think about it. Torque is P cross E. That means it is P E sine theta. This is vector, but this is scalar. Potential energy is minus P dot E. So it is basically minus P E cos theta. Where is such an option? Shaku, that is wrong, bacha. If force is there, yes, then only torque is there. But if there are two forces, then they can cancel each other, but their effect of rotation may not cancel. Maybe the two forces are opposite, but they are not on the same line. If they are at a distance, that's how they create the torque. So just because there is no torque does not mean there is no force. There might be forces, but the forces effects of torques are cancelling out. Understood, bacha? Yes, the PDF will be available later on. Net torque is created only when net force is 0. That is wrong, Jawar. Net torque can be created even when net force is not 0. Imagine this pen. I just apply one force. It will rotate. Single force, that means net force is there. Still torque is there. So all options are possible. Understand? In general, in any given scenario in the world, you can have torque, you can not have force. You can have force, not have torque. You can not have torque also, not have force also. You can have force and torque both. So all options are possible. But in dipole, force is always 0, torque is not 0. Is that clear? Everyone? Is this understood? Now, yes, you can expect these kind of questions. Yeah, the answer is obviously option A. Needless to say. Yeah. This lecture will go on for at least 1 more hour, 1.5 hour max. Yeah. Passages are very short, guys. I mean, it's very easy to solve the questions. Here comes the next passage. Come on. I have taken passages from almost all the chapters so that hopefully one of these passages comes, at least similar passage comes in the examination. Total internal reflection, take a screenshot and then we'll start solving quickly. The main formula over here is mu is equal to 1 by sine C. Whenever you solve passages, look at the formulas. Highlight the formulas. If you see multiple formulas, highlight it. Okay. If there are some definitions given, then underline the definition. Total internal reflection is mentioned. Critical angle is mentioned. So underline it so that whenever you have to look at the passage, if the need arises, you can quickly find those key important points. So underlining and highlighting the formula is very important in a passage. Keep this in mind. Okay, let's start doing the questions. Critical angle for glass to air interference when the refractive index is 3/2 is, you can use a light pencil, maybe light pencil. If acha, highlighting is malpractice. Oh, is it? Okay, then please don't do, bacha. Ignore. I said that. Okay, I didn't know that they don't allow. Okay, ignore. Don't mark anything. Chill. Shh. I didn't tell anything. Okay. So sine of the critical angle is 1 by mu. So this will be 1 by 3/2. So this is 2/3. So sine of that critical angle is 2/3. So what is IC? Now you'll be like, sir, I don't know the sine only of these kind of weird things. Don't have to break your head, man. Check this out. 60 degrees sine is root 3 by 2. 30 degrees is half. 45 is 1 by root 2. It is not any one of them, na? So it has to be the only other option which is possible, which is basically 41.8. Understood the logic? Yeah, eliminate. Don't break your head. Please don't tell me, sir, I'm going to use log books. Sir, I devised a new method, sir. I drew the angle 41.8 using my mathematical geometrical skills. Then I measured this side, sir, using a scale. Some people have done that, you know. For finding signs of weird angles, they do this. They draw those angles, they measure this side, they measure this side, and then they divide. Who are these ultra legends who have ever tried this? Please raise the hands. Because once I was also ultra legend. Once I was so frustrated in the exam, I didn't know the sign of something. I actually did this in my school days. And I got marks also. Okay. Nobody ultra legends over here. Yeah, great. Let's go ahead to the next one. But even if such a question comes without options, remember, even if a question comes without options, here I am giving you options. Remember, you can always use logbooks, or you can think in terms of approximation. Moving on to the next one. Critical angle for water-air interference is this much. What is the refractive index of water? Interesting. Yes. Let's see how many of you can do this question now. Come on. What is the refractive index of water? Figure this out. Everybody, think. What is the refractive index of water? So what is the formula that you want to use? Sine of the critical angle is 1 by mu. So mu is basically 1 by sine of 48.6. Now if you notice over here, this sine value is going to be slightly larger than sine of 45 degrees. Right? This will be slightly larger than sine of 45 degrees because sine 48.6, that is larger than 45 degrees. Sine 45 is nothing but 1 by root 2. So this value is going to be larger than 1 by root 2. Think about it. So basically the values that you get will be close to root 2. The value of mu, okay, I know it will be slightly different, but it will be very close to root 2, which is basically 1.4. See which of the options are the closest to 1.4. See which of the options are close to 1.4. Obviously 1 can't be true. This is 1.5. This is basically 1.33. This is 3 by 4, obviously eliminated. Out of these two, I think the answer should be even less than 1.4. Think why? Because if the denominator is more than this, that means mu will be slightly less than 1 by root 2, or basically root 2. It will be slightly less than this because denominator is big. That means when you bring it on the top, what will happen, guys? It will be slightly less than 1.4. So the only option possible in this scenario is 4 by 3. Exactly. So understand the framing of the question. When the denominator increases, the whole ratio decreases. So hence the value of mu should be slightly less than root 2. Think about it. So that's how I get it. Critical angle for air-water interface for red is 49. For violet, how much will it be? Now this will be crazy. Very good, JEE 2024. Awesome. Let's celebrate, no then. So what is the correct answer for this? See guys, if you talk about the refractive index of violet color and refractive index of red color, it's the refractive index of violet which is higher than the refractive index of red. Violet deviates more, red deviates less. We have seen this in dispersion. Now, if you talk about the critical angle formula, the sine of the critical angle is basically 1 by mu. This is the formula, right? So think logically, guys. If mu is more, then the critical angle is less. If mu is more, critical angle is less. Hence, the critical angle for violet color will be less than the critical angle for the red color. Now, the red color's critical angle is already mentioned as 49 degrees. So, violet color's critical angle will be less than 49. Which option is less than 49? Obviously, 49 is not less than 49. 50 is not less than 49. 52 is not less. 48 is less. Eliminate, and answer is C. So, you can expect questions based on elimination. Understand that. Is it easy? Understood? Clear? Can we move ahead? Amazing method. Understood the logic? Yep. So when the dropper course will start, it will be mentioned, bacha, but it will not start before May. Okay, after second mains only it will start, or after BitSat and all those exams only. Next question, a point source of light is held at a depth h below the surface, critical angle is c, then the diameter of the circle of the light coming out of the water will be. Standard question, guys, you should have done this kind of question. So if this is the surface and if the source of light is below over here at this point S, then all the light which goes from here will exit out of the water surface, but there will be a point till which it can come out. After that, you will see any light that comes over here will get totally internally reflected. So you will see that there will be a circular patch. There will be a circular patch on the surface of the water through which all the light will come out, and this angle that is made over here is basically your critical angle, which I will call it as C. So if that is C, even this is C, parallel lines and intercept, so this will be also C. Now you can also notice over here, this is the radius. This is basically your radius, you can see that over here. So if I apply the formula tan C, it is the opposite side by adjacent side, which is H. So R is basically H tan C. Diameter is twice the radius, so it is 2h tan C. That is the answer. Exactly. Option A is correcto. Very good. No, it's not D. It's option A. It's not C. Exactly. Definitely it will be helpful for EM set as well, bacha. Yep. Magnetism and moving charges, I have taught it in many ways. Number one, in yesterday's session, I have done the entire formula and the concept revision. If you want detailed classes, it's available for all of you, okay, in the Pathfinder series. The playlist is there, very easily you can find it. Third option, if you want derivations, I've also done the derivations for all the geometries which are there for your CBSE board exam. It's all there in the playlist. I don't know how many of you have noticed this before, that there is a beautiful playlist which is made for all of you. So if you are going to the home page, right over here, you can see that CBSE board physics, maths, chemistry playlist. You can see CBSE class 12th physics playlist by Shreyas sir. Click on this, see how to score full marks, all the sessions are updated, derivations are updated, everything is there. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it, bacha. Chalo, let's go to the next question coming up on your screen. And what is it? If the critical angle is 30 degrees, then the speed of light is how much? Yep. Yes, I know, bacha, they won't give options in the case study, but the reason why I'm giving you options is because then we can do it quickly. Number one. Number two is that I want you to teach the concept. See, even if options are not there, it can come like a numeric question. Still, you will be able to solve it. The only reason why I'm giving options is because it is easier for you to type in the chat box. Understood? Okay? Clear? Yep. But you can get options certain times. Don't worry. And I am teaching in MCQs especially in MCQs you can get options, and there you need to know how to think. So that's the reason why I have incorporated MCQs also. That way we can do both. Okay, chalo, critical angle of the total internal reflection is 30 degree. So basically sine of the critical angle is 1 by mu, that is the formula, or rather, why do I want this? I want mu, right? So mu is basically 1 by sine of that critical angle. So sine of 30 in this case, sine 30 is half, so it will become 2 is basically the refractive index. We also know that the refractive index is speed of light in vacuum upon speed of light in medium. So speed of light in medium is C naught by mu. So C naught is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Mu is basically 2. 3 by 2 is 1.5. So 1.5 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Where is such an thing? Option B, yes. This can come like a numeric question also, like a problem to solve, or even in MCQs it can come, or just a separate independent numerical. Either ways you know now. Going to the next passage, guys. Quickly take a screenshot of this as well as this. There are two slides. Okay, this is the picture of the rheostat. Obviously, this picture will come in a very different way, in a schematic way. I've just shown you the picture. This is a diagram which you should know. And this is a passage. What is a rheostat? It's a variable resistance which is used to control the current. The construction is very similar to of potentiometers. There are only two connections. There are three terminals as in the potentiometer are present. The first connection is made to the end of the resistive element, second to the sliding contact. In potentiometers, rheostat have significant current, therefore they are mostly constructed as wire-wound resistors. Rheostats were often used as power control devices to control the intensity of light, motors, heaters, ovens. As shown, this is a variable rheostat. This is not 2 kilowatt, this is 2 kilo ohm, guys. There is a printing mistake over here. This is 2 kilo ohm. I'll just mention it over here. Is used 500 ohms load. Source EMF is 50 volts. That is 50, guys. In case you are not able to see it, resistance is 500 ohms at A to B. 2 kilo ohms is for the entire thing. Please understand that 2 kilo ohms is the resistance for the entire rheostat. Be careful. Okay. Let's go ahead. Okay. Yes. Let's move on. Yes. Doesn't matter, even if potentiometer is deleted, doesn't matter, it can come like a passage. Understand? Okay, passage, just doing it like a passage, extra passage, case study, don't worry. Total resistance of the circuit, even if it is not there, you can still solve it. Think of it like a current electricity. Trust me, if I change the passage to current electricity, the current flowing is this, Ohm's law is this, resistance is defined as this, and then you give this diagram and then you ask the same question. Trust me, nothing will change. Okay, this has got nothing to do with potentiometers. Trust me on this. Okay, no question you will use any of the things which are pertaining to potentiometers. It's just a simple resistance circuit, and battery is there, and currents have been asked, or resistances have been asked. What is the total resistance of the circuit is the question. Okay, how? See this now, how we are going to solve this. See, 2000 ohms is the total resistance of A to C. A to C, the total resistance is 2000 ohms. But out of that, from A to B is basically 500 ohms. So naturally, the resistance between B and C will be how much? 1500 ohms, guys. 1500 ohms. Great. Now, this and this resistor are in parallel. Think about it. There is one resistor here, there is another resistor here, and that is in series with this. That's what is basically happening. This is 500 ohm, this is 1500 ohm, and this is basically your 500 ohm. So first, take care of these two. Solve them together. What is the equivalent resistance of both of them, guys? What is the equivalent resistance of both of them? Just find it out. Parallel, right? So it is R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Just do the math, see how much it is. 1500 into 500 divided by 1500 plus 500. You can see 0 0 0 0 0 0 cancels. This will be 7500 divided by 20, 0 0 cancels. So this will be 375 ohms. 375 ohms. And add that 500 ohms in series, guys. So the total net resistance will be 375 in series with the 500. That will give you 875 ohms. 875 ohms. Where is it? Option C, of course. So 875 ohms is the correct answer. Very nice. Understood? So these kind of questions tell me, was there anything got to do with potentiometer? Nothing, right? It is just a simple current electricity problem. So, although it looks like potentiometer, but it is not a potentiometer problem. So, this can come just like a simple circuit as current electricity. Moving on. What is the current flowing? See, current is asked. It's Ohm's law, resistors in series and parallel. We can't take 2000 ohm and then do in parallel, bacha. Reason being, this entire 2000 is not in parallel with this. In the 2000, a part of it is in parallel. So, a part of the 2000 is in parallel, not the entire thing. This 2 kilo ohms is the entire thing. Please understand that, because you are taking this wire in between, so you need to bring these two in parallel and then in series. Okay, I hope Shraddha, Ramesh, that is very, very clear. What is this answer? What is the value of the total current flowing through it? I think I found the total resistance, the total equivalent resistance. How much was it? 875. So if I ask you what is the current, current will be nothing but voltage by resistance. So voltage is nothing but 50, resistance is 875. Do the math and quickly tell me what is the answer. Many of you are saying option B. Very good, guys, very good. It is actually 0.057 amperes. Excellent. Excellent. Great. Awesomeness. So simple calculations. Next question. See, what is the voltage difference in the load? This is the load. What is the voltage difference here? Solve it like a simple series parallel circuit. You will get the answer, guys. Just solve it like a simple series parallel circuit. See, this circuit is like saying this is 50 volts. Then you just have 500 ohms. And then you have 375 ohms. Remember these two together, which were in parallel, the equivalent resistance was 375 ohms. So that's what I am doing. And I just connect it over here. Now understand, whatever voltage is being dropped across the load, the same voltage will be dropped across the 375 ohm resistance. Now we already know what is the current flowing in it. What is the current flowing in it? So I can just use V is equal to I into R. Current, I just figured it out. It was 0.057. 0.057. Resistance 375. Do the math and tell me quickly. What is load? Load is basically some device which is, see what is load? Load basically adds to some problem, or basically it creates, it needs more effort, or it demands something. I have a lot of load, that means I have a lot of pressure, I have a lot of things to do. So load in electricity means it takes in something, it pressurizes the battery, it demands from the battery. What does it demand? Current. So a load is basically any device. It has some resistance. It could be a washing machine, it could be a fan, it could be a bulb. So that is a load. It is loading the circuit, that's all. Understood, bacha? Shaku, is that clear? Yes, the answer is option A, 21.43. Exactly, 21.43 volts. Awesomeness, awesomeness. Moving on to the next question. Here it is. If you remove the load, this is L, L stands for load. So then what is the total current in the rheostat? How 375 came? Ashlin, that was done before, na bacha. We did this before, no, in the first question. So you cannot say, sir, I forgot this. So this 375, we got it here, right? Understood? So that's how I got it. Clear? Okay, moving on to the next one coming up on your screen. Oh, yeah, this was done. Yeah, what is this? What will happen if you remove the load? So if you remove the load, it's as good as saying you just have one single resistor and you just have one single battery. So which is basically 50 volts, and then you have basically what is it? 2000 ohms. So what is the current? Current is voltage divided by the total resistance. So guys, what will the correct answer be? It will be 1 by 40 amperes, right? 1 by 40 amperes, right? Yes, there you go. Option C, exactly. So it's all Ohm's laws. It's all Ohm's law. Perfecto, perfecto. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. If the load is removed, what should be the resistance at BC to get 40 volts between B and C? Interesting. If the load is removed, what should be the resistance at B and C in order to get the voltage as 40 volts between B and C? Interesting question. So if you remove this particular load and you add a resistance, okay, a new resistance, I do not know how much resistance. So A and B, the resistance is still 500 ohms. This is basically still connected to 50 volts. So what will be that value of resistance? So you get a voltage drop of 40 volts. Simple things, guys. Come on, think logically. V is 40 volts here. Total voltage is 50 volts. So naturally across 500 the voltage drop should be 10 volts. 40 plus 10 will be 50. Here 10 volts, here 40 volts, total will be 50. And we know current is the same. Current is the same. So therefore, if current is same, can I not say voltage by resistance is the same? Can I not say voltage by resistance 10 volts by 500 will be 40 by R? Check this out. What will happen? R will become 40 into 50. How much will it be? 2000 ohms. So yes, the answer will be 2000 ohms between B and C. So the effective resistance between B and C should be 2000 ohms. Then the correct answer will be there. Yep. So why 2000 and why not 2500 ohms? Because it is mentioned na bacha. Oh, I think you missed that part where I said that this 2 kilo, a lot of people get confused here. 2 kilo is not this much. 2 kilo is this entire thing. Read the passage. That's why I told you guys. Read the passage. See over here. This 2 kilo ohms is the total resistance of the rheostat. So this 2 kilo ohms is not for BC, but it is for AC. Resistance between A and C is 2000 ohms. Understood? So out of that 2500 is here, remaining is here. The way it has been printed, it looks it is only for BC. That is confusing. That's why you should read the passage. Else you will make mistakes. Got it? Okay. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. What do we have? Okay. We have a question on power. Just notice this question, and everything is all about power lost in a circuit. There are 4 bulbs. Oh, question on power and bulbs. 4 bulbs each consume the same power. That is the most important word. The resistance of the bulb 1 is 36 ohm. That is what is the most important line again over here. So the question says that if this is the circuit diagram, then answer the next questions. Okay. So this is the circuit diagram 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the battery. Forget this. Just take a screenshot quickly. And then this is the passage given. Just take the screenshot quickly. Come on. Yes. Come on, do this quickly. Have you taken the screenshot of this as well? This is the main circuit diagram, although the circuit diagram will come in all the questions. I think I have printed it. Yeah. So this is number 4, okay? This is number 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the resistance of the bulb 3? It was clearly mentioned bulb 1 is 36 ohms. Bulb 1 is basically 36 ohms. All the bulbs have the same power. What is the resistance of bulb 3? Okay, now the logic that I use is that since the same current flows in 2 and 3, let's say I call this as I2, here I call it as I1, let's say I call it as I4 or something like that, or just you can call it as I, that is the total current. Okay, now same current flows through 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are in series. 2 and 3 are basically in series. Power of 2 is power of 3. That is already given to you. Think about it. It's already mentioned in the problem. Now also current is same. What is it? I is basically same. That also means resistance of 2 is resistance of 3. Not just that, voltage across 2 is voltage across 3. Is that making sense? Voltage across 2 and voltage across 3 is the same. Now 2 and 3 are in series, but their combination is in parallel with 1. So can you not see 2 and 3 as a unit is basically parallel with resistance 1? They are in parallel with that. That means the voltages will be same across them. The voltage will definitely be same across both of them. So V2 plus V3, which is the total voltage here, shouldn't it be equal to the voltage across 1? Shouldn't it be equal to the voltage across 1? This is a very good passage. So pay attention carefully now. Now each of them are equal. V2 and V3 are equal. So 2 times of V2 will be equal, or V3 will be equal to V1. That's what I got. Very important line. I got that either this voltage or this voltage is half of the voltage across 1. Now comes the next part. Observe carefully. Since their powers are equal, P1 and P3 are equal. Since P1 is also equal to P3, so voltage 1 square by what do we want to find? The resistance of bulb 3, right? Okay, so R1, V1 square by R1 will be equal to V3 square by R3. Now V1 is twice of V3, so it is twice of V3, so whole square by R1 is given to be 36, is equal to V3 square by R3. V3 square cancels, 2 square is 4, by 36 is 1 by R3. Now 4 and 36 goes 9 times, so R3 will come out to be 9 ohms. Check this out. Even if options are not there, still will you be able to solve yes or no? Still will you be able to solve yes or no, guys? Perfect. How 2V3 is equal to V1? I use this bacha. look at this. In case you did not understand this step, I'll just probably write one more step over here. V2 is equal to V3. So V3 plus V3 is equal to V1. So twice V3 is equal to V1. So I just use this concept over here. V2 and V3 both are equal because the resistances are same, powers are same, current is same. What more you want? Life for him, I'll start it only after the board exams are over, okay? So moving on to the next one. What is the resistance of bulb number 4? This is the bulb number 4. So we just now figured out from the previous problem, what and all we figured out, that this is 36 and this is 9, right? So this is basically 36 ohms. This is 9 ohms. This is 9 ohms. This is number 4. How do I find the resistance of the fourth resistance? Of the fourth bulb basically? That's the challenging part. Now here again, I think I need to somehow compare the powers. Here the currents are getting distributed. It's not about the voltage. So I feel I will write this current as I2. I'll write this current as I1. I will write this current as I. I can see that the currents are getting distributed. If you notice in this branch where I2 is flowing, the total resistance is 18 ohms. In the other branch, it is 36 ohms where basically I1 is flowing, and both of them are coming from the same common current I. That I is getting divided into two branches. Do you see that, guys? 18 and 36. I2 and I1. Guys, they are parallel resistors. So the voltages are same. So therefore, I2 into 18, IR will be equal to IR. So I1 into 36. So from this, I basically get I2 by I1. I2 by I1 is 2:1. So that means the currents are getting distributed in the ratio of 2:1. So 2 parts here, 1 part here. So if I totally divide it into 3 parts, out of those 3 parts, 2 parts go here, 1 part goes here. Therefore, current in 2 will be 2/3 of the total current, and current in 1 will be 1/3 of the total current. Is that understood? Because the ratio is 2:1. I understood that the currents will go as 2/3 and 1/3. So totally 3 parts you divide, 2 parts go here, 1 part go here. Exactly. Now, once I understood this, now I can do the remaining part. Here and here the power is same as per the question. It was mentioned powers in all the bulbs are same. So P4 is equal to, I can just say P3, or I can just say even P1 also. I can even say P4 is equal to P1 also. How does it matter? Or you can even take anything else. It's up to you. Okay. So what is P4? P4 is resistance of 4 into current in the fourth resistance, which is I. P1 is current in the first bulb or resistance into what is it? This is I square. I'm so sorry. I squared R will be equal to I1 square into resistance. The resistance is 36. So power is equal to I squared R. Power is equal to I squared into resistance of the fourth one, which I do not know. Now here what I will do is R4 I will keep it as it is. I1 I know is I by 3. So it will be I square by 3 square into basically 36. I square cancel. So R4 will be 36 by 9. So this will be basically 4 ohms. So that's the value of R4. Crazy. So I found it out. 4 ohms. Check this out. Yep. There you go. All the data that you find will be useful for the next problem. Now check this out. If the power is 4 watts, then what is the total current? Power is 4 watts, then what is the total current? Let's write down whatever we know. This is basically 4 ohms. This is basically 36 ohms. This was 9 ohms. This was 9 ohms. All of this I found it from the previous problem. Now power is given. Question is what is the current flowing in the circuit? Whatever current goes here, that is the value. Now the same current also flows through the fourth bulb. So power is equal to I squared into R. I squared into R. Power is given to be 4 watts. This is for bulb 4. If I do this, power is 4 watts. Current I do not know. Resistance is 4 ohms. So I square will be 1. So I will be 1 ampere. Current will be 1 ampere. Where is that? Option A, of course. That's it. That's how you get the answer. Everyone understood? Beautiful question. Tough question. This will be probably deciding factor whether you get good marks or not. Okay. But anyways, I'm doing all kinds of questions just in case. What is the equivalent resistance of the circuit? What is the equivalent resistance of the circuit? First of all, mark all the resistances. This was 4 ohms. This was, I think, 36 ohms. This was 9 ohms. This was 9 ohms. So first things first, those two 9 ohms are in series. So their effective will be 18 ohms. And that is in parallel with this 36 ohms. And that is in series with this 4 ohms. So what do you do next? Combine these two. Combine these two, guys. So if you combine these two, what will you get? 18 into 36 divided by 18 plus 36. So it will be 18 into 36 divided by 54. It goes 3 times. This goes 12 times. So that will be basically 12 ohms. Now 12 and 4 are in series. So for series, what will you do? Add the resistances. 4 plus 12, which is basically 16 ohms. Exactly. Many of you wrote 16 ohms. Very good, guys. Very good with calculations. Perfecto. Awesomeness. Next question. Let's see what it is. What is the voltage of the battery if the power is 4 watt? What is the voltage of the battery? What is the voltage of the battery if the power is 4 watts? Guys, I just figured out that the total equivalent resistance R equivalent is 16 ohms. Is 16 ohms. I want to know what is the voltage. I also knew the current. Current, I figured it out from the previous question. 1 ampere. Check this out. So I might as well use it over here. 1 ampere is flowing. So V is equal to IR. Voltage, I don't know. Current is 1. R is 16. So it will be basically 16 volts. 16 volts. That is the answer. That is the answer. Very nice. Option A. So did you see in this passage, actually the toughest part was the first part or the first question and the second question. Only these two parts were tough. Rest all you were able to do it because you solved the first and the second part. You used the data. Quickly you started solving the question. Okay. So that's how this passage was designed. Crazy. Power is equal to VI. Bacha, very good. Upli Balaji, very nice concept. Upli Balaji, if power is 4 watts, tell me for which is the power 4 watts? For one bulb. Is the total power 4 watts? These two are 4 watts in series. That is in parallel. This is in series. So their total power will be completely different, na? Understood? Very good. Awesome. Let's move on to the next passage. Take a screenshot. Looks scary, but trust me, it is not. Okay? Trust me, it is not. Okay, so the questions are there directly after this. Just take a screenshot quickly. I think you can see certain formulas. What you should do, the moment you see formulas, just highlight them. Highlight them. This is called chromatic aberration. Okay, all these things. What is the focal length formula? All these things you are going to highlight. Okay, just make sure you do that. Yes, the PDF will be uploaded later on. Okay, shall we start doing the questions, everyone? Okay, let's see. The first question, I think most of it will not be even related to the passage. Few of the formulas you can directly use it. Even if you don't understand the diagram, don't worry, guys. Yeah, I know. I'm just asking you to highlight it right now, just so that you can solve it. I'm just highlighting it for you guys to see. That's all. Okay, but otherwise don't highlight it on the paper. Okay, focal length of the equiconvex lens is 3/2 in air is 20 centimeter. The radius of curvature is how much? 1 by f is equal to nothing but mu minus 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. Use the formula of lens maker and you will get the answer. Refractive index 3/2. Radius of curvature, one will be plus 20, other will be minus 20. Why? Because of sign convention. Well, if you forgot that, let me remind you, in a convex lens, one of the radius will be basically positive, the other radius will be definitely negative. So one is positive, one is negative. So what you are going to get is 3/2 minus 1 is half. And over here, this will be 2 by 20. 2 and 2 cancels. So it will be 1 by 20. That is 1 by f. So f will be 20 centimeters. Where is it? Option C. Exactly. No, it's not even negative. It's going to be plus. How to determine R1 and R2? Well, first of all, radius of curvature is I think I did the problem wrong, guys. I'm so sorry. Here the focal length was asked. Radius of curvature was asked. Focal length was given. I'm so sorry. But coincidentally, the focal length and radius came out to be the same thing. That's why it looked like that. But wait a minute. Let me just do this again. The focal length formula is this. I'm so sorry. Okay. Now here the focal length is already mentioned to be 1 by 20. Or basically 20, so I'll put 1 by 20. Mu is basically 3 by 2. This is minus 1. Here, if one of the radius is r, the other radius will be minus r. Now you might be wondering why is it minus r and how to determine the radius. Some of you asked that also. See, if this is a lens, the rays of light will come like this. So this is the first surface, this is the second. This is the second surface. First surface will have a radius like this. This is the positive side. This is the negative side. Wherever the rays go, that is the positive side. So because the radius is over here, that is R1, that is going to be positive radius. The second radius, which will be here, you can see that is on this side, so it is negative. So R2 will be negative. Understood? Yeah. So solving this, the values are such that you will probably see the values of radius and focal length come out to be the same. Sachin, remember that this is a lens, it's not a mirror. So in mirror, R is equal to 2f, but in lens, it's not 2f, it could be anything. So when you solve this, what are you going to get? This will become half, this will become 2 by r, 2 and 2 cancels. So it is 1 by r is 1 by 20. So r is basically 20 centimeters. So that is the answer. So here, by design of the question, the focal length and the radius are coming out to be the same. It could be different, it could be less, it could be more. Yeah, it is just a coincidence. Don't worry. If two different R1 and R2 are given, then how to identify which is R1 and which is R2? That is your doubt. See guys, imagine if this is one radius and this is another radius. If the light is coming like this, wherever it hits first, that is R1. Wherever it hits next, that is R2. The first and the second order, how does light travel? That will decide. So if this is basically 20, R1 will be 20. If this is basically 30, R2 will be minus 30. So R1 will be plus 20 because it is on the positive side. This will be on the negative side. So minus 30. Understood, bacha? If no diagram is given, then it doesn't matter. If you change the order, the focal length remains the same. Please remember, if I take a lens and if I flip it, the focal length is still going to be the same. It doesn't really matter. Neither the sign changes nor the magnitude changes. So even if the diagram is not given, you can still do it. Okay? Order does not matter. Yeah. Is that clear? Understood? Very good, Saran. Awesome, awesome. Focal length of the lens in the water would be. So assume that the water's refractive index is 4 by 3 and then solve the problem. So in such a case, what will happen? 1 by focal length will be a relative refractive index minus 1. Here 1 by radius was 20 and this was minus 20. That is from the previous problem. Okay, you have to use that data. Relative refractive index will be refractive index of glass upon refractive index of water. So this over here is basically relative refractive index. Relative is refractive index of glass upon refractive index of water. Relative. Now just solve it. This will be nothing but 3 3s are 9, 4 2s are 8, minus 1. This will be 2 by 20. So this will become basically 1 by 8 into 1 by 10. So this is going to be 1 by 80. So basically the focal length will become 80 centimeters. So in water the focal length will obviously change. Okay, very nice, very nice. Awesome. Panshu, you can do one thing, bacha. You are on the wrong channel. You can switch on the TV. You can just download Netflix, or you can just go to another channel where there might be some songs going on. Please go ahead. Right now, I'm so sorry. The exam is there, so I'm not going to sing for that. Okay, I'm not here as an entertainer. I'm here to teach. So if you find some teacher who just sings or who dances and you feel very good, please watch that teacher, or please watch that channel, or please turn on that particular music channel, whatever. Okay, so I'm a teacher. Please don't ask me to do such things. Moving on to the next one. Refractive index is 1.6 for violet color. Refractive index is 1.5 for red color. Radius of curvature given. The chromatic aberration would be how much? Chromatic aberration, I think it was there here only. See, the chromatic aberration is the difference of the focal length, is the measure of the chromatic aberration. I'm just highlighting for you, but don't do it in the exam. It is focal length of the red minus focal length of the violet. So just find FR and find FV, guys, you will get the answer. Find FR and find FV. 1 by FV will be, focal length of violet will be 1.6. And this will be 1 by 20 minus 1 by minus 20. Just do the math. This will be 0.6 and this will be 2 by 20. So this will be 6 by 10, which is 3 by 5 into 1 by 10. So basically focal length of violet will be 50 by 3. Okay, I'll just put it over here, which is 16.7, right? 6 you can say 6. So I can just put it as 16.7 centimeters. Same way, find the focal length of red. Focal length of red will be 1.5 minus 1 into 1 by 20 minus 1 by minus 20. So this will be 0.5 and this will become 2 by 20. So 0.5 is basically half. So this and this will cancel. So this focal length of red color will just become 20 centimeters. Now the question says, what is the chromatic aberration? What is the chromatic aberration? So the chromatic aberration is the difference of the focal lengths. So of maybe the red color and the violet color. Red is 20. This one is 16.7. So this will be 3.3 centimeters. Just check it out. Is it there somewhere? Yes, it is there. Option B, of course. Is that okay, everyone? Do I need to show the calculation? See, bacha log, if it's a subjective paper, if it's a subjective question, no options are given, it is mandatory that you put the solutions, put the steps. Don't just put the answer, okay? So please put the steps, okay? Moving on to the next one. Coming up on your screen, the given, this is I think the last question. Then we'll go to the next passage. If a given convex lens can behave as a concave, then when it is held in a medium of mu equal to, see guys, if it's a convex lens, when will it turn from convex to concave? If medium is denser than the material of the lens, So what is the lens's material? It is 3 by 2. So basically the medium's refractive index must be more than 3 by 2. So it can't be 3 by 2, it can't be 1, it can't be less than 2 by 3. It has to be 7 by 4. That's the answer. Got it? Elimination. Why can't it be negative? How can refractive index be negative, bacha? Fantasity? No. Yeah, it has to be just a medium which is more refractive, basically more dense, then the rays instead of bending towards, it will bend away, it will behave exactly opposite. Chromatic aberration can be corrected by, how do you correct chromatic aberration? Come on, my dear students. In the previous question, why can't it be negative? Oh, the way in which it has been defined, bacha. Okay, thank you for putting it up. Over here, it is red minus violet. Red minus violet. It is mentioned. Red minus violet. So over here, I should put red first, which is 20, and then violet. Hence, it is 3.3. That's why it is not negative. Okay? Okay. Great. So what is the correct answer? By using Kazarian telescope, my God. The correct answer is suitably combining it with other lens. This is the combination of prisms kind of thing. So if the colors are getting spread out, then you combine it with another lens so that the colors again combine back. So that is basically combination of prisms, combination of lenses. That's why you study that, so that when these multiple lenses are there, if one lens tries to diverge it, you can add a prism or a lens that will again try to converge it. Because what does a prism do? If there is white light, it spreads it out. If there is a light which is already spread, if you pass it through it, it can come out as white light. So you can converge the colors by using suitable combination of lenses or prisms. So hence, that's the correct answer. Okay, I think this is a question on AC circuits. Okay, yep. Let's see if you can do this. So there are some important data points over here. The resistance is 50 ohms. I'm just highlighting it for you so that you pay attention to that. That's all. The frequency is this many radians per second. For resistance, it is 25 volts. For inductance, the voltage is 20 volts. These are the key points in this particular passage. Rest other things are okay. And I think it is also resonating, that is also mentioned over here. It is also resonating, that is also mentioned. And at resonance, the voltages are so on and so forth. The session will go on for a few more passages. That's it. The next few passages are very straightforward. Okay, it will not take much time. They are not calculative. But I'm pretty sure if you are not attending this class, then you would be just sitting at home. You would be tensed. You would not know what to do. At least because you are attending this class, you are doing, maybe at least seeing somebody solve the question, at least something is entering your head, rather than just sitting idle or getting confused or getting nervous or not knowing what to do. So think of this session as adding immense value to the preparation for your CBSE 12th physics examination. Yep. So here is the question. The value of the inductance is, okay, how do I find the inductance? Well, I think resistance is given to me. Voltage across the inductance is 20 volts. Acha. So how about this? Voltage across the inductance is current into inductive reactance. So it is I into omega L. Now this is basically VL. VL is given to be, inductance is 20 volts. So this is 20. Current, I don't know. Omega is given to be 2 into 10 to the power 3. So 2 into 10 to the power 3. I need to add one more. L, I don't know. How do I find current? Because it is resonating. Because it is resonating, then what happens in resonance is the current becomes the voltage divided by resistance. That's all. So the voltage given to the resistance will be how much? 25 volts. It's mentioned over there, 25 volts. So that is 25 volts. Resistance is how much? 50 ohms. That is also mentioned. That is also mentioned. So basically, this will become 1 by 2. Current will become 1 by 2, guys. So just put 1 by 2 over here. Everybody with me? Yes? Yeah, just check this out. 1 by 2, everything. Yes. 50 ohms, V by R. Yeah. So just do the math and see what is the answer that you are basically getting. This 2 and this 2 will cancel. So you will just have 20 into 10 to the power minus 3. So which is basically 20 millihenry. Just check this out, 20 millihenry. Yep, there you go. Answer A is the correct one. Very good. Simple. V is equal to IR. Resistance for inductor is omega L. Current is also voltage by resistance. Voltage across resistor was 25. Resistance was 50 ohms. That was already given. So you get the current over here. Put it. Okay, moving on. What is the value of capacitance? Thank you, Krishna Charan. Thank you. Means a lot. Thank you. And do not forget to leave comments after the session, guys, that you enjoyed it, you learned a lot. And just put a thumbs up or put a smiley. It means a lot, guys, when you do that. Okay, so here I will use the formula omega is 1 by root over LC. So omega square is basically 1 by LC. So C is basically bring omega and L down. L and omega both are down. That's what the value of C is. Now the inductance, I just found it out to be 20 millihenry. So 20 millihenry. So 10 to the power minus 3. Omega was 2 into 10 to the power 3. 2 into 10 to the power 3. Square it, guys. Now do the math, you will get the answer. 2 square is 4. 4 2s are 8. So 1 by 8. Here I will have 1 by 10 into 1 by 10 to the power minus 3 into 1 by 10 to the power 6. So 1 by 8 is 0.125, and then what do you have? 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 4, so 10 to the power minus 4. So 0.125, I can see 12.5, so I think it is option D only, but still it will be 12.5 into 10 to the power minus 6 farads, so that is 12.5 microfarad. That is the value of the capacitance. There you go. Option D. Very good. Awesomeness. Yes. There you go. Simple questions, guys. Direct formulas, nothing else. Next question. The impedance on the resonance in the resonance circuit is, when it is resonating, the total impedance becomes the resistance, because XL is equal to XC. They cancel out each other. Therefore, the resistance, how much was the resistance given? 50 ohms. So that's it. The resistance will be 50 ohms. That will also be the impedance of the circuit. Exactly. Option A. Simple, easy peasy. Going ahead. What is the angular frequency which will make the circuit inductive in nature? If you want to make it inductive, then understand inductive will happen if omega is more than the natural frequency or the resonant frequency. So the natural resonant frequency was 2 into 10 to the power 3. If omega increases, it becomes inductive. If omega decreases, it becomes capacitive. So over here, what is the value which is more than? This is like asking a 5th standard student, which number is greater, which number is smaller? Anybody can do this. Yes, the only number bigger is option D, 5 into 10 to the power 3. Exactly, bacha log. None of the options are bigger. Such a simple question. Next question. At this frequency, what is the nature of the circuit? 10 to the power 3 is less than 2 into 10 to the power 3. This was the natural frequency, resonant frequency. So obviously it will become capacitive in nature. So where is such an option? Option B. See how easy it is. So how can it come as a descriptive question? At this frequency, the nature of the circuit will be what? Question mark and explain. Then you'll have to write, as this frequency is less than the natural frequency, that is why the circuit will be capacitive in nature. And since this is 10 to the power 3, so the answer is capacitive. That's it. That's all you have to write down. Then you'll get full marks. Next question on Newton rings. It's basically interference. Even if this passage goes beyond your syllabus, trust me, this has got nothing to do much with Newton's rings and all of that. It is just showing some interference pattern. Just take a screenshot. Easy peasy, biryani tasty. Why are you making me hungry, bacha? I did not have my lunch and my morning breakfast is only fruits. I always eat fruits or juices, that's all. Nothing else. I don't eat, very rarely I eat something like idli or poha or paratha or something like that. I'm feeling very hungry now. I bet you two are very, very hungry, but that's okay. Just, I think, few passages, 1 or 2 passages which are very straightforward. Yes, I know. Let's see if you can do this. Okay, here comes the first question up on your screen. In an interference experiment, amplitudes are this much. Ratio of maximum and minimum intensity of the fringes will be how much? Simple. If you want to find maximum and minimum intensities, first find their amplitudes. So the maximum amplitude, if they are in the ratio of 1:3, so if one is amplitude A, the other will be 3A, so it will become 4 times A. The minimum amplitude will be, this was for constructive interference. Similarly for destructive interference, it will be 3A minus A, so that will make it 2A. Now the question is on intensity. So the maximum upon the minimum intensity, remember intensity is proportional to the square of the amplitude. So it will be A max by A min whole square. So A max is basically 4A, A min is basically 2A, 4A by 2A is 2, so 2 square, which is basically 4:1. 4:1 is the answer. Where is such an option? Option A. Simple. So here I have used the concept that amplitude square is proportional to the intensity. This is one concept which is very important, and constructive and destructive interference, amplitudes will add or subtract. Simple thing. Next question. 2 sources, intensity this and this. Find the ratio of the maximum to the minimum intensity. Come on guys, find the ratio of the maximum to the minimum intensity. See guys, there is a direct formula which will avoid you a lot of trouble. The formula is the maximum intensity is root I1 plus root I2 whole square, and the formula for minimum intensity is basically root I1 plus root I2, no, not plus, minus root I2 whole square. This is the formula which you can use for finding the resultant maximum or minimum intensity. Just use it, okay? If you did not know about it, now by heart it, okay? It's very, very important. Now just divide, after that you will get the answer. So what are you going to get on the numerator? You are just going to get this as root of 9 plus root of 25 whole square, which is basically 3 plus 5 whole square, which is basically 8, okay, whole square. Whereas at the bottom, what are you going to get, guys? Check this out. This will be root of 9 minus root of 25 whole square, which is basically nothing but 5 minus 3 whole square, which is nothing but 2 square. So 8 square by 2 square, I can finally write it down as 8 by 2 whole square, which is 4 square, which is basically 16. That is the answer. Yes, it is C. Very good. C for Captain Shreyas. Awesomeness, awesomeness, awesomeness. See, everybody has answered it. Very good, guys. Proud of all of you. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. What is it? Yeah. Which of the following does not show interference? Soap bubble, thin film, which is very small, thick film, wedge-shaped film. Which do you think will not show any kind of interference? Wedge-shaped film, soap bubble, thick film, or excessively thin film? No, it is not D, guys. It is B. Very thin film will not show. Wedge-shaped film can show interference. Okay, in fact, that is the concept of the Newton rings. So the light coming from here will get reflected and reflected. You will see there is interference. Some light somewhere else, maybe over here, which is falling, will get reflected and it will go like this and again get reflected. So there will be interference of different type or different nature because the thickness of the film keeps changing. So there is interference here and also over here and also in a bubble, but in a very thin film there is hardly going to be any interference. It's negligible. So if you have a very, very thin film, you will see the light which enters and gets reflected and enters and gets reflected. They're almost like they're getting reflected from the same point. So hence there is no interference over here. There is no interference over here. Keep this in mind. Okay. So I hope this is clear, everyone. How soap bubble? Soap bubble also has a film. Soap bubble, even if you take a soap bubble, there is a film, right? There is some liquid here. So what you will see is there will be interference. If you blow bubbles, don't you see colored bubbles? Have you tried to blow bubbles in maybe while having bath or maybe in a fair or maybe in some mall or something? You would have seen, or in a birthday party, people blowing bubbles. Do you see it is colored? Why is that color coming? Because of interference. Okay. Thick film also can create, because if you have decent amount of thickness, then the light will come reflect. The light will come reflect. So this is decently thick. This is decently thick. You will still get interference. Like if you throw water on the floor and if sun is shining, you might see the water being colored. So it's a thick film. Understood? So that is the reason for it. Moving on to the next question. In YDSE, if the slit is doubled, separation wise, to maintain the same fringe spacing, the screen to slit distance must be how much? Okay. Fringe width formula, I think you have to use as per the given question. What have you changed? The slit separation is doubled. That means small d is doubled. Obviously, the numerator should be doubled so that this remains the same. So answer will be option A, 2D. Very good, very good. Guys, I'm pretty sure if you get this kind of question, you will definitely do it in the exam. That should build a lot of confidence. Two slits have widths 81:1. The ratio of the amplitudes coming out from those two slits are interesting. See, if I have a small width, the light coming out will be dim. But if I have a little bit wider slit, then there will be more light coming out of it. This will be brighter. So what matters is the width of the slit. So in fact, the intensity is directly proportional to the width of the slit. So I1 by I2 will be, widths are in the ratio 81:1. The question is about amplitude, and we all know amplitude's square is proportional to intensity. So I1 by I2 will be just A1 by A2's square. But I1 by I2 is 81/1. So that is A1 by A2's whole square. Therefore, A1 by A2 is 9:1. That's it. That's the answer. 9:1. Where is it? Option C. Question was not about intensity. It was about amplitude. Moving on to the next. Okay, last two passages, guys. I'm pretty sure you're full of josh. Push yourself, even if you feel that, oh my God, sir, I'm hungry, sir, I'm tired, sir, my brain is not working, sir, I'm tense, sir, I'm nervous, sir, I have so much to do. Don't worry, guys. Here you will get done all these passages which you will otherwise miss, or nobody will do it for them. So when I'm doing this for free for all of you on YouTube, you have to show that energy. Go ahead, smash the like button, guys, and show that full josh and energy, guys. Okay, buckle up. Last 2-3 questions. That's it. Come on. So what do we have? Helical path, yeah, motion of a particle, charged particle in a magnetic field. Yes, that's it. So I think it's a fairly simple one. Yep. So let's do this, guys. Let's do this. What is the first question? The radius of a particle which is moving in a uniform magnetic field is given by. So when a particle goes in a uniform magnetic field, what is the radius? The velocity is v. The mass of the particle is m. We know that the force will be equal to mass into centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration is v square by r. Force will be q into v into b. This velocity and this velocity cancels. So qb is equal to mv by r. So r will be mv by q into b. That is the answer. Yep, option A. Exactly, option A. R is equal to mv by qb. The magnetic force will be giving you the centripetal acceleration. So that's all I have done. Moving on to the next one. Electron, proton, helium, lithium thrown with some speed in a field. Which one will experience maximum magnetic force? Interesting. Which one will experience maximum magnetic force? Magnetic force is Q, V into B. What is different in all of them is only the charge. Electron has one negative charge. Proton has one positive charge. Helium has one positive charge. This has double positive charge. So this is maximum for helium. That's why the force will also be maximum. Hence lithium double plus. Exactly. That's the answer. Very nice. No, it is not electron. No, it's not proton. Question is not on acceleration. So we don't have to worry about the mass. The question is on force. Force only depends on the charge, velocity and field. Moving on to the next one. The work done by the field on a particle moving perpendicular is 0 qv cross b into displacement maximum qbs divided by v. What do you think? We all know that when a charged particle moves, this is some mass, this is some charge, when it moves, then the force is going to be always perpendicular to the velocity. And work done is always force dot your displacement. So this dot product will become cos 90, cos 90 is 0, hence the work done will also be 0. Exactly. So it is not option B, guys. It should be option A. Why are you saying B? Why is it force into displacement? No, it is direction is also there now. Did you forget that cos theta, the dot product? So the dot product makes it 0. Yeah. Utsav Dey, welcome bacha. I hope you guys are enjoying. Which one will accelerate more, Sarina? Sarina, think about it. Mass, if it is less, and if it is significantly less, then the acceleration will be very large. Although proton, lithium, helium or hydrogen, they have similar masses, 1:2, 1:1, whatever. But electron has the smallest mass. So that effect will dominate and you will see electron will have the maximum acceleration in the previous question. Okay, cool. Moving on to the next one. The distance moved by the particle in one rotation is how much? Basically what they are asking you is the pitch of the pitch of the helical motion. Pitch. All right. So guys, what's the formula for the pitch? It is the time period into the parallel velocity. Time period of the helical motion is 2 pi m by qb. Parallel velocity is v cos theta. That's it. That's the answer. If you know it, you know it. Else you will have to go back and study this. 2 pi m v cos theta by qb. Yes, option B, of course. Very nice. Very good. I think we have come to the last few things. Very, very easy question now. Electromagnetic spectrum based. Come on, try to answer this, guys. Few more passages and then we are done. Few more passages and then we are done. Quickly. Let's do this passage within 3-4 minutes. Next passage also within 3-4 minutes. Next passage also within 3-4 minutes. Trust me, it is possible. Let's go ahead. Make sure you have taken the screenshot. And here we come with the first question. The classification of the electromagnetic waves. Radio, micro, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays. It depends on which of the following? Yeah, this picture is weird, I know. But this can happen, right? PDF you will get, bacha, by night. Wavelength and frequency, production and detection, how they travel, which year they were discovered. Obviously, man, wavelength and frequency. That's how we categorize, right? From this wavelength to this wavelength, this. That to that, this. So it's all based on the wavelengths or the frequency, whatever you want to look at it. Definitely, option A. Next one, which is not an example of electromagnetic radiations? Options are OP, right? Yeah. Now look at this. These options are also OP only. Radiotherapy, checking fractures, sterilization, or sonic boom. Guys, why sterilization, man? It's sonic boom. What are you guys doing? Sterilization, have you not? You were there, no, in 2020 when Corona happened. You didn't see. They used to take the phone, they used to put it in one box, they used to remove all the harmful germs, virus, everything. Ultraviolet light was there, no? That is sterilization. Have you done that? Yes or no? You would have seen it being done somewhere. They take some keys or your phone or whatever, they put it under that ultraviolet radiation. So that is called as sterilization. Sterilization means removing, killing all the germs, harmful elements. Fractures, X-rays. Radiotherapy, that is again or gamma rays or X-rays. So therefore, definitely all options are correct except for the sonic boom. Sonic boom. Sonic, supersonic sound. S stands for that sound. Sound is not EM waves. Be careful. Moving on. Oops, by mistake I showed the answer. It's okay now. I'll explain it. The pair which has highest frequency and highest wavelength is highest frequency, obviously gamma rays. Highest wavelength, that is radio waves. Radio waves are very, very long, typically in kilometers or meters. Gamma rays, very energetic, very, very short wavelength. Very, very short wavelength. Exactly, two extremes. Moving on to the next one. If there is some quantity which is same for X-rays, red light and radio waves of different wavelengths, what is that? Is it the energy or is it the scattering? Is it the frequency or is it the speed in vacuum? Everybody should pounce on this question, guys. Yes, you cannot forget that electromagnetic spectrum. Very good. I mean, I think even if a student has hardly studied, he can answer this, guys. Yeah, it's the speed of vacuum. Sarina, I'll tell you how this can come as a descriptive question. Out of all the parameters in an electromagnetic wave, when you have light, red light, when you have X-rays and when you have radio waves, is there any parameter which is not dependent on the wavelength? Question mark. Then you will be like, every other parameter like frequency or the intensity or the energy, etc. They all depend on the wavelength or the frequency, but only the speed of light is the same. It only depends on the medium. Hence, speed of light is independent of the wavelength or any other parameters. And that's how you'll end it. That's all. Okay? Is that clear? So that's how it can come as a descriptive question. Wow, next passage coming up on your screen, guys. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. How to mug up EM spectrum, just by heart the use or just go through the usages, visualize it, picturize it, and also I would say don't have to remember the exact values. If you have some mnemonics, you can do it via mnemonics also, and get a feel of the things. Like X-rays, very dangerous. More dangerous, gamma rays. Even more dangerous, cosmic rays. Less dangerous, then you have your ultraviolet. Then visible. After visible, obviously you will get ultraviolet on this side and infrared on the other side. And after infrared, micrometers. And after that, radio waves. So that's how you can visualize it. The frequencies you can't either know the wavelength or know the frequencies. I think by having wavelength is better than frequencies, because frequency you can calculate from the wavelength. Okay, I hope that is okay. Great. Let's see. The formula which gives the wavelength of the emitted photon when electron jumps from higher to lower energy state. What is that, guys? Come on, quickly. Tell me. Quickly, what is the answer for this? Balmer, Paschen, Lyman, Rydberg. Wavelength of the photon when an electron jumps from higher energy to lower energy state. What is that formula? Rydberg's formula, right? Exactly. This is that formula. 1 by lambda is equal to Rydberg's constant 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. That is that formula. Exactly. Rydberg's. Moving on. What is true about Bohr's model? His model was unique, totally different. Unique personality. His model was a modification of Rutherford's atomic model. His model is a modification of Thomson's model. None of the above. What do you think, guys? Come on. First option is OP option. And mine okay is also giving their mnemonic. Rahul's mother is visiting Uncle Xavier's garden. Wow. That's something fishy. Great. Rahul's mother is visiting Uncle Xavier's garden. Okay, great. So option B or D? No, it's not D, bacha. It is option B. Rutherford's model, he was basically able to explain the limitations of that. Exactly. He was able to explain the limitations of Rutherford's model. He assumed that there are stationary orbits. He explained why there is no radiation. He was able to explain the hydrogen spectrum. So it was a modification of that. Rutherford was a modification of Thomson. So from Thomson came Rutherford. From Rutherford came your Bohr. Okay. Bohr's model is applicable for any atom, only hydrogen atom, hydrogen-like atom, or for hydrogen gas. Crazy. Gaadi XUV in my range. Wow. Very good. Option C. Sure. Pakka. Very good. For hydrogen-like atoms. Excellent. Excellent. For hydrogen-like atoms. Perfect. So not just hydrogen, any atom like hydrogen. What do you mean by hydrogen-like atom? That means only one proton in the nucleus. One proton in nucleus. That is very important. Like lithium double plus, okay, or helium plus. These are all basically hydrogen-like atoms. The rejection of Rutherford. Why was Rutherford rejected? So guys, it's not just you who gets rejected. Okay? So even Rutherford got rejected. So have hope. Be boring. Oh, sorry. Be Bohr. Bohr was able to overcome all the limitations. Some people are laughing and maybe even crying. Yes, sir. Relatable, sir. So true. Even Rutherford, hundreds of years back, he was also rejected. What is me, sir? I didn't do anything. It could not justify its stability. Exactly. Definitely you can, Gunda. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So to get accepted, what you should be, guys? You should be the Bohr. Okay. Going on to the last passage, and here it is. Two wires getting attracted or repelled because of the currents carrying in them. So try to take a screenshot and then we'll go ahead. Okay. Interesting question. Come on. Interesting passage. Last passage for all of you. Okay. So based on the force which acts on a current carrying wire. Here is the first question. If there is a wire which carries current in the upward direction, if the beam goes in the horizontal direction towards the wire, then it will be deflected towards. Okay. First of all, the wire is carrying current in the upward direction. So the magnetic field will be like this. So here it will come towards you and it will go inside like this. This is how the magnetic field will look like. Now imagine there is an electron beam horizontally towards the wire. Towards the wire you are sending an electron beam. So what will happen? Use the formula F is equal to QV cross B. Velocity is here. Magnetic field is towards you. Velocity there, B here. Just hold your hand like this. Imagine your traffic police. Okay, just turn your hand like this. V there, B towards you. The force goes down. But the value of the charge is negative. Hence, the force will be upwards. The force will be upwards. V cross B will be down. But negative times of that will make it upwards. Hence, it should be up. Exactly. Option C. Perfecto. Perfecto. Exactly, TN Soul Gaming. That's the same feeling I got. Except for few times where some extra definition was given. Like in that optics passage, what is the meaning of chromatic aberration? Otherwise, it is completely useless. Most of the times. Yeah, very true. Moving on to the next one. Okay. Just like most of the time, passages in English also. Especially the ones which come from your book. Useless. Because you already know that passage. So you just go through it. Yeah. Current carrying straight wire is kept along the axis of a circular loop carrying current. The straight wire will, what do you think it will do? There is a loop which carries some current. There is a loop which carries some current. Obviously, the field coming out of it will be like this. This is how the magnetic field will look like. Correct? Yes or no? This is how the magnetic field lines will look like. Next, what is the straight wire? It's along the axis. This is the straight wire. This is the straight wire. Guys, the force acting is always I, L cross B. The length of the wire is along the axis. B is along the axis. So when you do cross product, it will be sine of 0 degrees, which is exactly 0. So the force will also be 0. The length of the wire is like this. Magnetic field also in the same direction. Length cross product will be 0. Exactly. Exactly. Option C. There will be no force on the loop. Perfecto. So for the previous question, bacha, you can do one thing. You have to use cross rule. If you are getting confused, do one thing. Do like this. What is velocity? It is in the I cap direction. What is magnetic field? It is outside. So it is K cap direction. So what is I cross K going to be? I cross K, guys. Come on. I cross K. What is it going to be? Just try that out. IJK, right? I have told you that method also. IJK. So if you do I cross K, it will be basically minus J. I cross K will be minus J. So negative of negative will make it positive. So it will be plus J. Plus J means it is upwards. So if you are not able to turn your hands, it's okay. Use IJK method. It will be easier. Exactly. That's all. That's how simple it is. Moving on to the next question. Proton beam is going from north to south. Okay. Proton beam is going from north to south. Electron beam is going from south to north. Neglect the magnetic field. Then the beam will get towards proton, away, upwards, downwards. What do you think? Positive charges will always attract negative charges. What will happen? Positive and negative, doesn't matter whether they move or don't move. Obviously, they'll get attracted, yes or no. So definitely they will get pulled and hence it will get towards the proton beam. Exactly. Option A. Simple. Easy peasy. Very nice. Next question. Consider the situation. The wire is fixed. The loop is movable. The loop will remain at rest, move towards, move away, rotate about the wire. What do you think will happen? First of all, this wire which is carrying current will create a magnetic field. So the magnetic field will be inside. It will be inside. Here it will be very strong, very strong. Here as you go, it will become weak, and here it will be even weaker. Here it will be very strong, and here it will be very weak. Now, because of the magnetic field, there will be a force acting on it. Force is basically IL cross B, length cross B. See how the length is arranged. Length is like this. The current is going like that. Length is this way. Length cross B. Hold your 4 fingers of the right hand upwards. Turn it inside the board. You will see, turn it inside the board. You will see the thumb goes towards the left. The thumb goes towards the left. So this is the force acting on this side. Same way, if you do the calculations on this element, the force will be this way. this will be a weaker force, this will be a stronger force. Obviously the net force will be here. The net force will be here. So what will happen? It will get pulled towards the wire. It will move towards the wire. Exactly. That's the answer. Perfecto. Why will it rotate? There is no torque. No, the torque acting on it is zero, guys. So there is no rotation. There is only force which will pull it there. Perfecto. Okay. So, oh, there is one more passage. I didn't know that. Oh, this is for your homework. Yes. So I'm going to give you some homework questions that will be uploaded, okay, in the Telegram channel. So I'll just go to the last slide. Just 1 second. Yeah. Yes. So guys, yep. I'll be giving you the homework questions in a bit. Okay, I will be uploading it in the Telegram channel. If you want to know where the Telegram channel is, let me just show it to you. It's right over here, and looks like Navamita ma'am is also there in the chat box. Hello Navamita ma'am, I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you so much for putting it up. Yes, committed for 100 marks. Definitely. Students have already aced the chemistry exam. Now it's time for them to rock the physics, and after that maths, and then they are going to just concentrate on JEE. That's it. They just want to get done with boards somehow. I know them. So it's there right over here in the Telegram channel. Right over here, you are going to get the entire PDF as well as the homework questions. Okay, so that should be good. If you want to join any crash courses, the crash course links are here. If you want to prepare for JEE, if you want to take the repeaters batch, also crash course, that is also there. Okay, so for all the students. So if you are also interested in the previous classes, there is a beautiful playlist that will be there. Okay, it's there on your homepage. Just go through these classes. That will again help you for your additional preparation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session, and I hope you guys had lots and lots of fun. Make sure that you smash the like button. Make sure you share it with the friends. What is the class tomorrow? Put it up in the chats and put up a heart, put up a smiley after the session is over. Say done and dusted, sir. 100 questions. Okay, now ready, geared up, all excited, charged up, full on fire. Okay, Vira mode activated. Yeah, great. For tomorrow's session, most repeated PYQs, and day after tomorrow, that's a sure shot. At what time? 10:30. Okay, keep this in mind. All the best, guys. Take care. Have a great time. Bye bye Namita. Bye bye kids. Bye bye Karthikeyan. Bye bye Saita. Bye bye Maximus. Yeah, so take care. Have a great time, Rudra. Have a great time. Have your lunch as well. Bye bye Sanchita. Bye bye Kirti. Bye bye Hariom. Take care Priya Kumari. Bye bye Saran. Yes, take care everyone. Okay, hasta la vista, Captain Shreyas signing off.